watching us online, for some reason our banner isn't there, but hopefully it will be soon. And boom, there we go. Oh, awesome. I'm gonna turn that off. It comes through finally. Ah, there we go. Hello, Twitch users and YouTube users. We are finally broadcasting to you as well. So I've got in the studio today, I've got Aria DiMezzo. How you doing today, Aria?
I'm doing good.
Very, very good. Went to the college today.
Oh, how did that go?
Pretty good. I found out that their free speech area, when I first saw their free speech area, it's like a little mall area, you know?
Mm-hmm.
But then they filled it with trees, benches, and a gigantic rock. So there's not really any area.
Interesting choices.
Right.
Them.
So then I finally tracked somebody down that worked there, and they were like, "Oh, as long as you're not, as long as what you're saying isn't hate speech, you can do whatever you want anywhere on campus." And I was like, "So it's not a free speech zone?
No, it's
an approved
no trigger zone.
Yeah, it's an approved speech zone." Well, that's not a free speech zone then, you know? We have a free speech area that as long as you don't say anything that offends anyone, you're welcome to use. It's almost as if they don't understand what the term free speech means.
Well, they don't. And this whole idea of offending people with speech, so, you know, people have to be protected from what you're saying, that doesn't help. It doesn't help children to stay in sterile environments, you know? They need to be immunized to germs and bacteria, and they do this by playing in sandboxes filled with cat feces and other crap. They don't do it by sitting in bubbles. And the same is true of ideological resistance, I suppose, would be, or ideological immunity, except that wouldn't be quite right, because we don't want people resisting ideas that are foreign to them. We want them, you know, being receptive of them, ideally, or at least being able to critically examine them before rejecting them. But if they don't even hear them because they're triggered and offended by them.
Well, you can be offended by something. Something can be said that bothers you or hurts your feelings, but that doesn't mean you have the right to use state force in order to stop it. You know, people say hurtful, stupid things all the time. It's life, you know? But people, we don't really have the problem with it since we've moved up here, but we've had people before we put the stickers on the car that were like, "Oh, by the way, we're armed," that would ride by my wife and give her the stank eye or say mean, nasty things to her. I mean, now that we've got we've got the stickers all over the car that are like, "Driver's armed, right. Beware." Now they just give her the stank eye from the side. They don't even look at her. They're just like, you can see that they got stank eye going on, but they're like looking, but not looking at her. Like, I'm not going to turn my head, but I'm still going to glare at you sideways. You know?
Oh, I know how that goes. Because these stares didn't stop when I moved to New Hampshire from Mississippi, as I sort of expected they would. Nah. They just became subtler.
Yeah.
And that was really the only difference. Instead of people going, or instead of people singing, you know, "There's a queer in my beer" behind me in line at, you know, checkouts, people just kind of
go, So it's before
like, can I help you with something?
Hey, you need a camera, bro? I can take a photo, send it to you on Facebook if you need it. I've said that to people in Walmart, like at the top of my lungs, walking in the door, like, "Hey, you want me to take a photo of her with your phone?" Because you're looking awful hard. Oh, I am, though. Yeah. See, I'm not like you. I'm wicked confrontational. I like it.
People stare at me, and I'm just like, "Oh, fuck them." Sorry. Screw them.
Yeah.
It doesn't affect me any.
All right, well, before we get too far, and it looks like we already have, so we're going to end up having to play about a minute of this on the other side. I want to get this out. This is, it's from an interview in Malaysia on a Malaysian radio station. And the topic for the first hour is toxic, ignorant, arrogant people.
Okay, well, I was struck. I was with Sayyidina Qibr Attas the other day, and he used innocent ignorance and arrogant ignorance, and I hadn't heard those terms before. Generally, the way I learned it was compounded ignorance and simple ignorance, but I actually liked the idea of using innocent ignorance and arrogant ignorance, because essentially that's that's getting, by saying compound ignorance and simple ignorance, you're not getting to the real problem. Because innocent ignorance is when people have a purity that enables them to say, I don't know.
Yes.
Because being able to say, I don't know, comes from, like a child.
Yes.
A child will just say, I don't know.
Yes.
Whereas, there's an essay written by an American philosopher, which unfortunately he entitled it with a word that I don't say privately, so I certainly won't say it on the radio, but anyway, the initials are BS, and what he argued in that is that there was so much BS in the world, and he asked the question in the essay, why is there so much people just pretend to know things, and they just say things, and it's just rubbish. That's what the British call it, rubbish. It used to be called balderdash, just empty, kalam fadi. The Iraqis say hachi fadi, empty words. Why is there so much of that? He argues in there because people feel they have to have an opinion about everything, and that's a disease.
Yes.
Just to be able to say I don't know. In fact, our scholars used to teach I don't know as part of knowledge, and they would say that it was half of knowledge. That if you know I don't know, you already know half of knowledge. And they warned about saying لا تقف ما ليس لك به علم. Don't say things that you don't have knowledge of. The Quran warns us. لا تقولوا لا تصفوا لا تقولوا تصفوا ألسنتكم الكذب هذا حلال وهذا حرام لتفتروا على الله الكذب. Don't describe with your tongues by saying lies about Allah's deen. This is halal and this is haram. So we're warned about these things, and yet arrogant ignorance is what compels people out of arrogance. Even though they're ignorant, but their arrogance assumes that I can't be ignorant because I'm me. I'm so important. My opinions are so important. So we flooded the world with empty opinions. We have all these people talking nonsense. And people that know the subject they're talking about can see that they're just full of air. They're hot air.
Yes.
All right, well, when we get back here in just a moment, we will continue on with a discussion of dealing with these ignorant, arrogant, toxic people that you run into basically on a daily basis, particularly if you're in social media. They're everywhere. You can't get away from them, and it doesn't matter left or right. It's toxicity everywhere. We'll be right back.
Radio is the most personal of mediums. I exist right now in your head. If you listen to Free Talk Live regularly, you know me. Free Talk Live is on more than 160 radio stations around the U.S. and has been downloaded on every continent around the world. Hundreds of thousands of listeners with ad packages from $600 a month to $6,000 a month. Imagine what we can do for your business, project, website, or idea. Email me, mark@freetalklive.com.
Last month, the FDA approved Hallucex, a new class of weight loss drug that helps users avoid overeating by producing nightmarish hallucinations whenever food is around. Hallucex targets the brain's cerebral cortex, stimulating the centers responsible for fear and visual processing. Test subjects reported an unprecedented decrease in appetite and showed dramatic weight loss, with only 18% reporting night terrors or subsequent cardiac arrest.
It's designed to make fatty and sugary foods even scarier. An apple just looks like it has fangs, but a milkshake will threaten you and your family by name.
Earlier incarnations of the drug proved to be too powerful and produced mental states in which test subjects no longer believed that food had ever existed. An unshakable belief that the subject had to eat all of the food on the planet in order to prevent food from rising up and destroying the human race.
No, you don't understand. I have to do this.
Or the conviction that food could be negotiated with diplomatically. With the Lab Report, I'm Aisha Patel.
This is the Onion News Network.
Imagine someone in your community getting in their car, turning on the radio, and hearing the Liberty Radio Network. You can make that vision a reality with your own micro radio station. Visit broadcast.lrn.fm to learn how you can put our programs on the air in your area. You can have LRN.FM running around the clock, and you can even add in your own local shows. Building a radio station is simple, but programming isn't. That's where LRN.FM comes in. Learn more at broadcast.lrn.fm. That's broadcast.lrn.fm.
This Your Family Today tip is brought to you by Nestle Toll House Refrigerated Cookie Dough. Who would you bake some love for? Find fun and easy baking ideas at tollhouse.com. Kids love doing arts and crafts projects, especially when you join in. Try channeling all that artistic energy into the kitchen and bake up some creative treats together. Think of your art supplies as the frosting, sprinkles, and decorating gels, and use cookies or cupcakes as your canvas. For more tips like these, visit us at parenthood.com/yourfamilytoday.
The 3 most important things you can do for LRN.FM are: 1. Let your friends know you're listening to LRN.FM on your social networking profile. 2. Buy the things you buy online through shop.lrn.fm. 3. Give $5 a month to the AMP program at amp.lrn.fm. It's my firm belief that the AMP program is the best use of your charitable dollar among liberty-oriented groups. Support all your favorite organizations, but make sure you give $5 a month to the AMP program at amp.lrn.fm.
Since time began, tyrants have taken aim at personal liberties. Now there's a movie that aims back.
The government has no more right to tell us what to put in our bodies than they have to take our guns or tell us what books we can read.
6 drug police were eaten by bears while raiding a marijuana farm.
On your knees, you dirty hippie! Jesus. On your knees! What's the problem, officer?
Today, many cops who enforce pot laws do so only because it provides them with cushy jobs, good benefits, and a chance to push people around.
I was an undercover narcotics officer. The drug war is nothing but a farce.
The Second Amendment says you gotta keep you and your gat intact.
Guns and Weed, The Road to Freedom. A film by Michael W. Dean and Nima Vadati.
DVD available now at gunsandweed.com or on Amazon. That's gunsandweed.com. Makes the perfect gift. Remember, that's gunsandweed.com.
You can put the Liberty Radio Network on the air in your area. Visit broadcast.lrn.fm to learn how. Broadcast.lrn.fm.
You are listening to the Call to Freedom on LRN.FM. Unasikiliza wito wa uhuru katika LRN.FM.
All right, welcome back into the Call to Freedom here on LRN.FM. Broadcasting live from our Zencash studio here in beautiful Keene, New Hampshire. And it's another beautiful day. It's so hot. Good God almighty. I was out there sweating like bullets. It's only 70 some odd degrees and the humidity is so high that like my shirt is soaked.
I find it rather comfortable.
I'm dying. I am. I'm dying over here. I think it's hot in the studio, truthfully. I sweat sitting here in here. Like, I've got sweat now. I'm sweating. Yeah, I'm sweating sitting still in the studio. It's like 73 in here. Because I'm just weird. I don't know what the problem is. So we were starting. We got about a minute of it left. So we're going to go ahead and knock that out real quick so we can get started on this discussion.
Simple ignorance, it's really important. Traditionally, people who didn't know, they would just say, go ask so-and-so, he knows. Sahaba, radiallahu anhum, they didn't like to answer questions. They used to defer it to other people because they felt the heaviness of having to say what the religion says about something. It's a weighty thing. Now we have every Tom, Dick, and Abdullah just feels compelled to give their opinions on the internet. We have what they call trolls, you know, these empty people with vacuous lives that have no meaning other than to find meaning by defaming or slandering or attacking the words of other people. That's what we have. We have empty people that won't even write their real names. They won't even say where they're from. They're just empty people. And so we have empty suits walking around. The lights are on, nobody's home. And this is a crisis of the modern people. We've become empty people. One of the things, humans are called thaqalain, the two weighty ones. Humans and jinn, they're called thaqalain. That's what the Quran calls them, weighty ones. We're weighty creatures. We're not frivolous, empty creatures. We're supposed to have gravitas, weight. There was a film recently called Gravity, which was just about these idiots out in space floating around. And this is modern man. We've been freed from the atmosphere of the earth. We're spiritually without gravity. There's nothing that's holding us down spiritually anymore. So we're just floating in space.
All right. I don't know. Do you know anybody that has the ability to say that?
Yeah.
Me.
Yeah, and me as well.
Very few people, though.
There are two 3-word phrases in the English language that are the most powerful sentiments that can be expressed. The first is, I don't know. The second is, I was wrong.
Yeah.
And people seem to have an inability to say either one of those things.
Either one of those, yeah. Either one.
And in fact, I would say, coming from the philosophical area that I do, I would say that no one knows anything.
Yeah.
And the whole idea of anyone's claiming to know anything is just a conceit. It itself is arrogance.
We actually talked about that when the very first day of the new format. We talked about the whole idea of the impossibility to truly know anything.
Yeah, absolutely. Because
knowledge is agreed upon opinions.
It is. And people would go, well, the difference is that knowledge is based on evidence. Okay.
Evidence based on opinion. But
even that aside, the evidence changes based on our ability to evaluate and gather the evidence.
Yeah. Well,
100 years ago, everyone knew that the earth and all celestial bodies were surrounded by an ether, and this was ultimately the cause of gravity. So they were always looking for these ethereal winds. And it wasn't until Einstein came along, well, actually, I guess it was 105 years ago that people believed that, and completely dispelled that notion that people go, oh, we didn't know what we thought we knew.
Well, the first Encyclopedia Britannica, printed in 1768, how many volumes?
Yeah, no doubt.
3. 3 books.
I mean, and, this whole idea is that knowledge is scientific. But any scientist worth his weight in logic will tell you that the reason, the ultimate tier of certainty in science is the theory, is because we can never be certain of anything. And if we can't be certain of it, we can't know it. We can believe it to varying degrees. And we can operate within reasonable certainty, like based on all of the evidence, it is reasonable to believe this. But to go, nope, this is absolutely true and it will never change. It does not get more arrogant than that.
Well, again, if you look
that in this tiny slice of 4.6 billion years of Earth's existence, this little species out in the middle of nowhere in this galaxy that's existed for a cosmic day.
Yeah. A minute is more like it, but yeah.
At this one little tiny slice of time, we have perfect knowledge of something.
Doubtful.
It's absolute arrogance.
Yeah. Again, like I was saying, the first 1768 printing of Encyclopedia Britannica, 3 volumes. How many volumes is it today? 30. That show and
not to mention everything printed in those original 3 volumes is probably wrong.
Most of it's been refuted. Yeah. Most of it's been proven that it was based on ideas that were wrong. There was inaccuracy.
1,500 years ago, everybody knew the Earth was flat.
Yeah, okay, 1,500 years
There were a few people who were like, well, it's not flat. And 1,500 years ago, everyone knew the Earth was center of the universe. Imagine what we'll know tomorrow.
Right. Well, it was just, 200 years ago, people in the West just knew that slavery was a moral thing and was totally a good thing to do.
Yep.
Today, they still believe that.
They do.
They do. They really do. They just changed the slave owners.
Yeah. And we apply it to every non-human.
Yeah. Now
every non-human on the planet.
We all get to wear our own little shackles.
But I would disagree with the idea that there is, I don't remember the terminology he used, but there are two different types of ignorance, one of which is innocent, sort of malicious, and one of which is
and arrogant. Innocent ignorance
That was
is,
it.
I don't know. I have the ability to acknowledge that I don't know.
Well,
I
see,
have
I
a
think-
wrong position and can take in new information. Then the arrogant is like...
well, see, I disagree. I think the issue is a misunderstanding of the English language and a misusing of the word ignorance. What is the root word of ignorance? Ignore.
Well, they called it innocent.
It's always,
he called it innocent.
The word for that is naivety. It's naive. No exposure to a subject, you're naive of that subject, not ignorant of it, because to be ignorant means you're ignoring it. You're ignoring the information in it. So I would say that what he's really talking about is ignorance and naivety.
Okay. So what he's saying is that you've got in today two different kinds of people. There are those who can be wrong and acknowledge that they have the ability to be wrong. And then there are those like the Bill Warner, Robert Spencer types out there that they don't know, but they think they do.
This is novelist Tom Robbins. When my mother was diagnosed with glaucoma, her conservative Virginia physician told her there was only one treatment that might ease her pain and save her eyesight. That treatment was medical marijuana, which he could not prescribe. I offered to get her some and teach her how to use it effectively, but my father objected because marijuana was against the law. So my mother, who loved to read and walk in nature, was condemned to grow cruelly, unnecessarily blind. Tragedies like this happen all the time, but they don't have to keep happening. To learn more about medical marijuana, call the Marijuana Policy Project at 1-877-JOIN-MPP or visit them on the web at mpp.org.
What do you shop for that you could otherwise buy at Amazon? Pretty much everything, right? Amazon has competitive pricing and they deliver, and that's a big plus. If you could plan ahead in your shopping, would you be interested in saving up to 33%? There's a catch. You have to do your shopping in Bitcoin. But imagine those savings. It's like a huge raise. All you have to do is go to saveatpurse.com. We've saved thousands, and you can too. Plan ahead and save. Saveatpurse.com. Why did you move to the Shire?
I moved here to the Shire because there's other people around who take liberty just as seriously as I do.
I moved to the Shire because I saw videos of people challenging authority and thought that I could get support myself. It called to me, like, do this right now.
I wanted to be around people like me who got it. And once I got here, I knew there was nowhere else that I wanted to be.
I've always wanted to change the world. So I moved to the Shire to join people who were actually working towards doing the same thing.
The people here are awesome, loving, and positive. It was for the adventure and for the feeling of something important is happening here. And I just wanted to come to sort of be part of that.
Visit ShireSociety.com to read and sign the Shire Society Declaration and learn the reasons why, if you love liberty, you should immigrate to the Shire. Plus, add yourself to the Shire map at ShireSociety.com. That's ShireSociety.com. Did you know we've taken our LRN.FM telephone listen line to a new level with the LRN.FM audio on demand line? Now you can call 712-770-8447 anytime and listen to LRN.FM's live feed. And you can listen to a bunch of our original shows on demand. Long distance fees may apply. Just dial 712-770-8447 and choose from the menu. 712-770-8447.
So the protection of life, liberty, and property is what the Free State Project is all about. But it's an effort to move 20,000 people who understand.
It's about demonstrating to the entire country
that, yeah, we can have a free market, a truly free market.
Making it just a freer, great place to live.
It's the world's largest voluntarist libertarian community, and it's only getting bigger.
That's amazing, to be able to move to a place where other people like passionately believe in being free and independent.
What the Free State Project is managing to do, though, is to put their money where their mouth is. It's physically getting up across the country and saying, let's go someplace and let's demonstrate the power of these ideas. There's a lot of kind of philosophy that surrounds liberty. There's a lot of thinking about it and talking about it. But here in New Hampshire, people are doing it.
101 Reasons Liberty Lives in New Hampshire, a documentary by Free State Project Early Movers. Watch it free at 101reasonsfilm.com. 101reasonsfilm.com.
Help get LRN.FM into more ears. Visit promote.lrn.fm for a free bumper sticker, flyers, banners, graphics, and more. Promote.lrn.fm.
You are listening to The Call to Freedom.
Live on LRN.FM. تستمعون إلى نداء للحرية مباشرة على LRN.FM.
All right, welcome back into the Call to Freedom here on LRN.FM. Broadcasting live from our Zencast studio in beautiful Keene, New Hampshire, and we're having a discussion about the ignorant, the arrogant, and the toxic. We're talking about basically everybody you bump into on social media.
We are, and I think that there are two primary issues at play here. The first is the Dunning-Kruger effect, which is the psychological phenomenon that causes people to substantially underestimate topics that they're completely ignorant of. So the net effect of that is that they believe they're more knowledgeable than they actually are. And this plays directly into this notion people have that intelligence equates to being right, and that if you're wrong, you're stupid. Because, you know, in this modern secular, increasingly secular society, we've simply replaced God as the person who declares our ideas to be absolutely right with the word intelligence. And that's why you have people, you know, worshiping everything that Neil Tyson and Bill Nye and all these other intelligentsia people say. Because they're intelligent, therefore they must be right.
Yeah, it's like the thing we were talking about yesterday, where you got Bill. Was that on the air? Where we were talking about like Bill Warner?
I don't know. Maybe
I don't think. I don't think. So there's this guy named Bill Warner, right? Bill. He goes by two names, Bill Warner and Bill French, and he is Dr. Bill Warner because he has a degree in physics.
Oh yeah, that was on the air.
Yeah, and somehow his degree in physics makes him an expert in a religion that's 1,400 years old and written in a language he doesn't understand. I even asked him one time. I shut him down
through and through.
I shut him down at an event one time. It made front page of the local newspaper in the town that I lived in, Tennessee. He comes, does his event. I get up, I ask two questions, really simple questions. You know, the first one was, well, actually, this was the second part of one of the questions, because I was like, so you've written what you call a chronological Quran, which doesn't exist, and it couldn't possibly exist. A linear Quran that has like a single linear historical narrative like the Bible does. The Quran jumps around a lot. It's a bunch of stories and they're all out of order. And according to him, he's written a chronological one. Now, even though 1,400 years worth of Islamic scholarly, devoted Islamic scholars, people that spent 40, 60 years of their life studying their religion, people who were given fatwas at 9, none of them could do it.
Well, wouldn't it be impossible to figure out what order most of these events happened in?
Yeah, exactly. But since none of them could do it, Bill Warner could, but because Bill Warner has a degree in physics. Anyway, I asked him, I said, can you understand, like if I was to have a conversation with you in Arabic, Kif al-khair, do you understand me? No. Okay, can you write in Arabic? No. You can read it then, right? No. Okay, so you were able to take a book that you can't read the language, write the language, or understand the language that it was written in, and you were able to go through it and what's the word I'm looking for here? Reorder it, thank you, into a chronological order, even though 1,400 years worth of scholars that do speak the language couldn't. You really want all of us in this audience to believe that?
Yeah.
And that was the point, really, where the audience was starting to get that he didn't know what he was talking about. So question time goes around for a little while longer, and they're running out of questions, so I put my hand up again. And poor guy, they gave me the mic again. And
I'm surprised by that.
Yeah.
Usually the person giving the conference can go,
Yeah. Well, that gets better. So then I asked him, I was like, so you're up here and you're telling us that you're explaining Sharia, quote unquote, Sharia.
Oh, dear Lord, I can imagine what he
Right.
said.
For non-Muslims, because that's the name of one of his books, Sharia for non-Muslims, so that non-Muslims can understand Sharia. And he said, yeah. I said, so you
Non-Muslims have absolutely no need to understand Sharia.
I know, exactly. But he's like, yeah, that's why my book is called Sharia and for non-Muslims, is because I'm an expert on the subject. I said, so you could tell me the five foundational reasonings of law in Sharia. And he looked at me like a deer in the headlights. Like, what? It's basic information. I mean, it's like end of first section, first chapter, Sharia 101. So could you tell me what the 5 foundational purposes of law are according to Sharia? And he was, okay, fine. Maybe law isn't your area of expertise for Sharia. What you understand is application then, right? Fiqh. That's your area of expertise I'm expecting. So you could tell me at least one of the 5 qa'idah from the Qawaid al-Fiqh. And
he looked at you like I just said, I don't even know what you said.
Exactly. And at this point, the audience definitely knows he's caught. I just gave a lecture claiming to be an expert in a subject, and you just asked me like the first question at the end of the first section of the very first chapter, and I had no idea what you were talking about. So now he's busted, right? So while he is stammering through the answer, the organizer snatches the microphone from me and yells, "Why don't you ask him about Muhammad's wives?"
So that's what it was all about, though.
Yeah,
it was about spewing hatred and ignorance. It was never about.
I was like, look at you, bro. I just made your guy look so stupid, like he didn't know a single thing, and you just did whatever you could to completely derail that. And oh, well, no, don't focus on the fact the speaker doesn't know what he's talking about. We're here to hate Muslims, remember? That event was what created my career.
Awesome.
The speaking at the state senate in Tennessee, the Tea Party thing that I didn't, all that stuff, it all started with a reporter saying, "Did you know that this guy is speaking in town today?" No, I didn't, but I'll be there. And he was like, "Oh, well, if you're going, I'm definitely going."
Yeah. And
he did. And it looked bad. It made front page of the paper.
I'm sure, but his audience was immune to it in the first place because
but they weren't. His audience wasn't immune to it.
Well, I'm not saying the attendees were necessarily ignorant, but the people buying his books, I mean, absolutely.
He didn't sell any books.
Maybe not. That's not what I'm saying.
I mean, at that
the
event,
people who generally buy his books,
do buy his books, yeah.
They don't believe you.
But that was the funny part, was like I'm not allowed. Now when he comes to Knox, he has never been back to Blount County. He might have gone back there since I left, but he never came back to Blount County. And when he would go to Knox County, which is the next county over, he actually had the churches would be locked, and they would have a guard at the door that let people in or out. You couldn't get in without being approved to get into the locked church. Nothing says I know what I'm talking about quite like locking anyone out that you can.
Yeah.
That was after the second time, because he came to Knoxville, and since they wouldn't let me in, we had the religion department from the University of Tennessee. All their professors showed up and schooled him too.
Nice.
Yeah. So after that, it was you have to get permission. Bill has to say, "Oh, they're okay." Nothing says I know what I'm talking about quite like making sure the door is locked to anyone who would possibly challenge you.
Well, that goes back to what I said during the first segment, that, people are not supposed to isolate themselves within bubbles to sort of prevent any possibly dangerous ideas from reaching them. But
and
they
that's
do.
Now they want to turn college campuses into that.
They do.
Insulated little bubbles where these kids don't ever have to be exposed to anything other than peaches and ice cream and scrumdiddlyumptious bars.
Yeah, so that they can remain ignorant.
That's the whole point. We'll be back with more after this. Stick around.
Looking for a great real estate investment? Consider New Hampshire, which is ground zero for the Liberty Movement. Your first call should be to Mark Worden from Porcupine Real Estate. He's more than just a real estate agent. He's your New Hampshire concierge. Where are the best places to live? Do you want farm, city, the burbs, or forest? Do you want a duplex or multifamily building so that renters pay your mortgage? There are homes in all price ranges in New Hampshire, and Mark can help with financing too. Invest in Liberty and property. Mark Worden can help.
PorcupineRealEstate.com. Negotiation isn't just something union leaders and sports agents do. Your entire day is a series of negotiations. If you have young children, you know that. In fact, your kids can teach you a lot about negotiating with grown-ups. According to the world's greatest negotiator, Herb Cohen, author of You Can Negotiate Anything. Herb says that kids understand the process of decision-making within an organization. When one parent says no, they'll ask the other. And Cohen says children persist and persevere. And like smart negotiators of all ages, kids know that no is an opening bargaining position. With money and attention so scarce now, effective communication skills have never been more important, especially if you're a job seeker. For more tips, hit survivalspeech.com. I'm Holland Cook.
Some of you asked, and now we've delivered. LRN.FM's live Keene, New Hampshire studio shows are now streamed in HD on Twitch. Visit our channel at twitch.lrn.fm and give it a follow. If you have Amazon Prime, you get one free subscription on Twitch. If you use it on our channel, Twitch will give LRN.FM a monthly piece of your Prime subscription cost. So please watch, follow, share, and subscribe to twitch.lrn.fm. That's twitch.lrn.fm.
Are you tired of governments murdering people around the world? Stop using their money. There is an alternative. Bitcoin is a stateless, free market, non-political currency. Bitcoin cannot be inflated or controlled by any government. By using their money, you are helping the state. Stop doing it. You have an incredible alternative available now. Learn it, use it, spread it. Get started with Bitcoin at bitcoin.com. That's bitcoin.com.
Did you know you can listen to LRN.FM via our free-to-air satellite channels? We have channels over nearly all of North America and much of Africa. All you need is an affordable receiver and a dish as small as 30 inches. There are no monthly fees. Learn more at sat.lrn.fm. Plus, if you are a broadcaster or want to be one, this is a good delivery method for our content. See our coverage maps and get details at sat.lrn.fm. That's sat.lrn.fm. sat.lrn.fm.
Free Talk Live.
I have been in the Central Square in Keene, New Hampshire with a group of people, and people have smoked cannabis there. If you don't want to inhale the cannabis, don't stand right in front of me as I'm smoking the joint. I'm not going to make an effort to blow anything in your face. That would be rude. That would be a violation of your personal space. But if you're downwind somewhere and you can smell the aroma of the pot being smoked, that in no way, shape, or form is having any effect on you.
What if they're standing 5 feet away?
You are being ridiculous.
No, I'm saying.
You are being ridiculous.
No.
The only way you're going to get high, sir, the only way you're going to even have a chance of feeling any sort of effect is if I go walk up right into your face and blow it up your nose.
Nice try, troll.
Free Talk Live, 7 nights a week from 7 to 10 Eastern, live on the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM. Some of our live shows are streamed in HD on Twitch. Please follow and share at twitch.lrn.fm. That's twitch.lrn.fm.
This is Angel Clark, and you're listening to The Call to Freedom on LRN.fm.
Welcome back here to the Cult of Freedom here on LRN.FM. Broadcasting live from our Zencast studio here in beautiful Keene, New Hampshire. And it is Wednesday afternoon here on the Cult of Freedom. We are discussing toxic people, arrogant. We're talking about people in general, basically, these days. Lots of people just don't have the ability to be like, I don't know. And the people, wow. And the people who do, well, they're usually pretty nasty as well.
So they are. And I think that more people should study and understand the Dunning-Kruger effect because the implications of it are staggering. It creates this whole inverted bell curve of people who think they understand a subject, or a confidence in their ability to understand a subject. As they are exposed to that subject, that confidence plummets. But then they reach this point at which they begin to understand, how drastically they underestimated the subject matter. And they believe that it's hopeless and that they'll never understand it. But they cross this corner, so to speak, where they begin to understand it and their confidence begins to climb back up. Interestingly, most of us sort of intuitively have an understanding of it, because if you give 30 people, as if you ask them to rate their ability to write and read grammar relative to everyone else, most people would score themselves at like a 70 or a 60 to 75 range, regardless of their actual proficiency with it. Even if they're the best writer in the world, they're going to give themselves about a 60 to 75. But if you tell them to grade each other's papers and then reassess themselves, most people, the people who are truly proficient, at least on average, they'll change their rating to like 95, 96, because most of us don't understand how poorly the other person understands the subject. And because we tend to assess these things relatively, we underestimate our own ability. So, there's a lot of nuance to it, especially for a psychological idea that tells us that we tend to overestimate our ability to understand a subject. So it's kind of twofold there, but it's a really fascinating thing. It's a scientific explanation of why people are so dense and so arrogant about their ignorance. It's because they don't understand their ignorance. They think
that they even
know.
are, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's one of the things about today that's so dangerous. Well, there was, I heard a scholar say that literacy is dangerous because literacy gives the ignorant access to information they didn't used to have. People that used to go and ask someone who knew what they were talking about now read a book and think that just reading something makes them the expert now. Like, I just read a book about it, so I know everything there is to know about it. Okay, well, did you read a textbook? That's your first question. Okay, now what was
Did you read it more than once would be question number 2.
There you go.
Because, good Lord, I've read Beyond Good and Evil at least 10 times, and I still don't understand 30% of what's in there.
And then you have, basically his argument was that mass literacy, which sounds like a good idea on its face, what it's done is it's taken people that before would have never really tried to do this and turned them into self-made experts. Translation: I read a website that validated my opinion. And that's basically what American mass literacy has done, because it's literacy in the sense that you can put the letters together and make words.
Yeah.
But comprehension, understanding, none of that's there.
Well, it can't be, because we don't know what words mean any longer. So any meaning that is actually being conveyed is completely lost to them, as instead they look at these words and they filter them through their own understanding of those words. And it doesn't matter whether or not the word literally means what they think it means or whether it doesn't, because they're going to read it in such a way that it reinforces whatever they believe.
Yeah. The backfire effect.
And this even applies to their own words. I've had people, say supremely stupid things to me that contradicted themselves within 5 words with zero ability to appreciate that they were contradicting themselves.
Yeah, absolutely.
So it's not good. I don't know whether, the ability to accurately and genuine, I think that is it. We no longer have the ability to accurately assess ourselves because we're so blinded by arrogance and how we have become our own gods.
Yes. Humanism.
Anti-humanism.
Selfism. Selfism. That's what it is. People call it humanism, but it's selfism.
It is.
It's the religion
That's why
of
they're
self.
pro-democracy. It's why they don't believe in a God. It's why they believe themselves to be the supreme knowers and the heralds of truth.
Yes.
Marked with their ideas marked as sacrosanct because they're intelligent. And they're intelligent, so they must be right. Well, let me go ahead and inform everybody listening. No one believes themselves to be stupid. But at least half of the population is what we would characterize as stupid. And most of them, or 49% give or take, is even dumber than that. So the odds are that the person you're dealing with being actually intelligent are not good.
Sorry, I'm trying to get our show prep put together for the next hour, and I'm looking at some of this stuff, and I'm just like, wow. Oh, while I'm listening to you, and it's like,
I mean, you can
kicking
tell
the
if someone
teeth
is
on both sides of
intelligent
my
or
head.
not because they'll say, I don't know, and they'll say, I was wrong.
Yeah.
People
if you
who
can't
cannot
say those 2 words, you're not an intelligent human being.
No, your mind
You're
is
arrogant.
closed, you're arrogant, and you're ignorant. For sure.
The unteachable.
I've been wrong
It's
about...
just like we were talking about yesterday with the cup. Or
I
was
am
it
less
yesterday?
wrong today than I was, 7 years ago. But I have been wrong so many times in my life, and I'm wrong about countless things right now.
Me too, and sometimes it is not very good when I'm wrong.
No.
And other people too. Some people say, "Oh no, everything's fine. There's nothing to worry about. It's all good." And then you find out later, "Well, no, no."
And I don't know anything, I think would be a fair assessment of my level of knowledge, because like Nietzsche, I would say that there is no such thing as truth and that there is no such thing as knowledge.
That is a pretty, there's no such thing as knowledge?
Yeah. Knowledge is a conceit. There are only beliefs, and whether or not people feel certain about those beliefs, but whether they feel certain or not doesn't change whether they really know it or whether they just believe it really strongly.
Okay. See, for me, it kind of goes back to the discussion we were having on Monday.
I would say
about
that
the cup.
knowledge is a belief that a person is not willing to question.
Okay.
That's what I would say.
I always thought that was a conviction. A conviction was something that you weren't willing to question.
True.
Yeah. Or yeah.
But I would say that the two things are the same, really, knowledge and conviction. Because I'm thinking about someone I've argued with extensively on Facebook about this exact subject, and their utter conviction that they had knowledge that they couldn't possibly have. And that they absolutely spoke with certain conviction of their beliefs. But it was a conceit. It was just a belief.
Yeah, just a belief. We should get him on the show with you one day. That would be the funniest show ever. I'll take the day off. Hey, you, Tom, and him in here. Yeah, I'd take the day off. That would be nice.
Would be an interesting show.
It would definitely be an interesting show. That's for sure.
I doubt he even listens any longer.
All right. There's no more the low collar jokes we used to tell. So.
No, that's true.
All right. Well, another first hour in the books. Coming up, we got Crypto Hour, and we've got some news for you. We've got a crypto card game that is...
Don't say it.
It's going to be... It looks like it's doing better than Magic. That's right. We've got China making some new decisions. Binance is kicking Coinbase in the balls. Thank goodness. And we've got a Sharia-compliant crypto exchange opening in UAE. All of that and a whole lot more when we get back here on the Call to Freedom's Crypto Hour. So don't go anywhere.
Is spreading the message of liberty, cryptocurrency, and peace around the globe worth $2 per month to you? As you may already know, in addition to our internet feed, LRN.FM broadcasts on free-to-air satellite across North and Central America, as well as Sub-Saharan Africa. And we've been available on satellite for free 24/7 since 2010. The LRN.FM free-to-air satellite signal is reaching some of the most oppressive regimes in the world, and there's no doubt our ideas are making an impact. You can learn more about the channel's impact by watching the 3-minute video at fund.lrn.fm. If you'd like to help free minds globally with our ideas of liberty, cryptocurrency, and peace, you can donate as little as $2 per month via fund.lrn.fm. You can help us continue and expand our satellite broadcast to multiple continents. Visit fund.lrn.fm today, and thank you for your help. Don't forget to share the link on social media. That's fund.lrn.fm.
Here's a chance to do a little activism while you're cruising Facebook, Twitter, or Google+. Between the LOL cats, the recipes, the hot girls, and the inspirational sunrise memes, Free Talk Live's posts pass by your newsfeed. Like them, comment. It gives us more exposure. If you don't see our posts, click like at facebook.freetalklive.com and then hover over it to click Get Notifications. It's an easy way to spread the ideas of liberty a bit further. I know you're busy, but you can spare that 1/10 of a calorie it takes to click on something. facebook.freetalklive.com.
In Survivor Max 2, School Bites, Max must scavenge through a wasteland swarming with the undead. Desperate to find the medicine he needs, he discovers a community of survivors at his former school. Has he finally found the safe haven he's been looking for, or will he discover that school bites? Look for Survivor Max on Facebook, read reviews on Amazon, and read Chapter 1 at survivormax.com.
More of the Call to Freedom is coming up next, live after the news on the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
From Keene, the Shire, the Liberty Media capital of the world, this is Daryl W. Perry, host of FPP Radio News for Wednesday, August 22nd, 2018. Silver is trading at $14.87 per ounce. Gold is valued at $1,201 per ounce. Zencash is trading at $22, and the average price of Bitcoin is $6,674. Antiwar.com reports that Russia's foreign ministry reacted critically to the U.S. Treasury Department's new announcement of sanctions on Tuesday, saying the allegations of malicious cyber attacks were groundless. The cyber activities were allegedly centered on evading previous sanctions. The sanctions targeted Slovakia-based Lacno SRO and Russia's Velomarine. The Russian company said it was baffled by the decision to target them, as the U.S. claims the diving equipment they provided to the Russian government was used to violate sanctions. Russian officials said the whole sanctions effort was done under false pretense, and that the Russians would soon offer a retaliation against the U.S. over the sanctions. Both sides have launched tit-for-tat measures against one another for years, and despite the Trump administration wanting to improve relations, they are constantly hitting Russia with new sanctions. Where this all ends is anyone's guess, but Russia has tended to make its retaliatory moves as close as possible to identical to the U.S. moves. This likely means they'll target a couple of Western companies and officials in this case. You can support FPP Radio by shopping online. Whether you're looking for precious metals, bitcoins, or books, you'll find that and more at shop.fppradio.com. Every purchase you make from one of my affiliates, like Namecheap and Amazon, at shop.fppradio.com helps fund FPP Radio. That's shop.fppradio.com. UPI reports the U.S. Coast Guard referred the deadly sinking of a Missouri amphibious tour boat to federal investigators for a possible criminal case on Tuesday. Coast Guard spokeswoman Alana Miller confirmed the case in which the so-called duck boat capsized on Table Rock Lake near Branson, Missouri, killing 17 people, was referred to U.S. Attorney's Office for the Western District of Missouri. Miller said during the course of the initial part of our investigation, the fact-finding part, we identified stuff that could point to some sort of criminal activity, and we are not in the business of criminal investigation. investigations. After the boat was raised out of the water last month, Coast Guard Lieutenant Tasha Sanowick said the military branch's investigation would focus on the limits on when the boat could enter the water based on wind speed and the height of waves. The Coast Guard previously determined the cause of the failure was the rapidly worsening river conditions, but also cited a failure to anticipate the change in the weather conditions. Miller did not clarify what criminal activity is suspected, but said the Marine Board of Investigations used its collective judgment and consulted with its legal department before the incident was referred. She also told the Springfield News later the Coast Guard would continue its safety investigation. In 2115 New England, there are no borders, no states, and no regulations, yet never has a more peaceful and prosperous place existed. But Mr. Drake's security company has seen better days. Faced with the prospect of waning power, Mr. Drake intends to replace the anarchy of New England with a government. But at what cost? Will anybody care? And can anyone stop him? Anarchy in New England by Joe Jarvis is available from Amazon.com and all major bookstores. Reuters reports University of North Carolina police on Tuesday were reviewing video to find the protesters who toppled the statue of a Confederate soldier on campus, part of a recent movement to dismantle U.S. Civil War symbols that critics say glorify the South's legacy of slavery. About 300 demonstrators gathered on Monday evening for a protest and marched at the base of Silent Sam, a memorial erected in 1913 to soldiers of the Confederacy killed during the Civil War. Protesters pulled the statue down with rope, cheering as it lay face down in the mud, its head and back covered in dirt. The University Systems Board Chair Harry Smith and President Margaret Spelling denounced the toppling of the statue in a joint statement. They said the actions were unacceptable, dangerous, and incomprehensible. We are a nation of laws, and mob rule and the intentional destruction of public property will not be tolerated. Last year, UNC students threatened to sue the school, alleging that the university violated federal anti-discrimination laws by allowing the statue to remain on campus. North Carolina Governor Roy Cooper said in a statement he shared protesters' frustrations over statues but condemned the violent destruction of public property. Campus police arrested at least one person at the protest for wearing a mask and resisting arrest. The statue of Confederate General Robert E. Lee was vandalized and later removed by school officials last year at nearby Duke University in Durham, North Carolina. You can support FPP Radio by joining the Fans program. To learn more or to join the Fans program, visit fans.fppradio.com. This has been FPP Radio News, online at fppradio.com.
Shortly after accidentally clicking like on nearly 400 of his ex-girlfriend's Facebook photos earlier today, panicked area man Adam Nuensing spoke to Onion reporters about his mistake.
Damn it, I was just looking at one of Rebecca's Instagram photos that showed up in my newsfeed, and the next thing I know, I just liked every single photo that she posted over the last 4 years. I didn't mean to, but it just kind of happened.
The 28-year-old told reporters that he had browsed through 14 of his ex-girlfriend's photo albums while inadvertently clicking like on each and every picture, including dozens from her office picnic last fall, her trip to New York in 2010, and a photo of her and her first boyfriend from 2006.
I thought if I went back and clicked unlike on all those pictures that maybe she wouldn't get any notifications. But then I saw some other albums and I ended up liking 80 more photos and shared them on my wall. Shit.
This is the Onion News Network. The Call to Freedom is an opinion show. It's meant for informational purposes only. It is not licensed financial advice. It is very important to do your own analysis before making any investment based on your own personal circumstances. You should take independent financial advice from a professional in connection with or independently research and verify any information that you hear from the Call of Freedom and wish to rely upon, whether for the purpose of making an investment decision or otherwise. I mean, come on, guys. Duh. It's a cryptocurrency investment and a political talk radio. Of course, it's opinions.
Hodl.
You better hold on for dear life, because it's time for the Crypto Hour, brought to you by motionproject.org here on the Call to Freedom.
All right, welcome back to the Call to Freedom here on LRN.FM. It is the Crypto Hour, and we about to nerd out, y'all. The only way that we could nerd out any more is if I could somehow figure out a way to get
the Gold Press Platinum guys.
That's right, yo. I'm telling you, man. I'm telling you. The only way we would nerd out anymore is if I could get the grand. Oh my God, I can't. See, this is why I need to sleep. I know the word.
Vizier.
The Grand Nagus. That's his name. The Grand Nagus. If we could get the Grand Nagus on the show.
31. I wanted to learn for the very best.
Which brings to mind the 33rd rule of acquisition. It
never hurts to suck up to the boss.
So we're not going to be Ferengied out today. We're going to be talking about something a little different. Oh, and I still haven't shown
nerdier.
I haven't shown you yet.
Slightly.
I told you I've got that new video version of, because you've got the old school one.
Well, I've got Duel of the Planeswalkers 2013, but I also have Magic Online, which is
the old one.
Well, it's not old. I mean, it is exactly identical to playing in person, and you are playing with other people.
Yeah.
They actually have, official Magic tournaments through it in the same way that they do at, events and stuff like that. It's 100% the game. It has all the cards.
Yeah, this was...
you have to... I'm trying to... Because it's so hard to convey the difference between Magic Online and, like, Duel of the Planeswalkers. Like, it is just the card game. You can't play... There are no computers to play against or anything like that.
Really?
Yeah. It's just a piece of software that you use to buy Magic cards from Wizards of the Coast and build decks and play against other people who are buying cards and building decks. Like the paper card game.
There it is, 1997. The Magic the Gathering PC game, 1997. That's the one I used to have.
That's Chandelar, isn't it?
I don't know.
The kind of the RPG one?
No,
Where you ran around collecting cards with the little dude?
Yeah.
Kind of an RPG-ish.
Yeah. Magic the Gathering, 1997.
I have never played it, but one of my favorite YouTubers, Pro Jared, has reviewed it, and it looks so fun.
I love it. Yeah. I love it so much. I used to play it for hours.
I bet.
So long.
But see, that was before my time. I wouldn't know how any of the cards interact with each other.
Oh my God. See, I'd played it for years in person in school. It's the 90s. And I was playing, in the 90s. I gave my brother, when I graduated high school, I gave my brother my deck, which was like 2 shoe boxes filled with cards. Uh-oh, somebody's attacking Arya.
No, it's not that.
No?
No, Rainbow was outside. My cat, Rainbow.
Oh. At the house?
Yeah.
Why?
I don't know.
My wife is like, your cat's outside.
Well, she said was, so I'm assuming that means she came
she
back
opened
inside.
the door and the cat came running in the house. Yeah. I
so.
loved the original Magic the Gathering game. You could get pretty much...
Actually, I'm under attack as well.
Oh, okay.
That's normal.
So, boy, we really did go gamer on this segment so far.
Did you ever play the PlayStation 1 Magic the Gathering?
No, but I've got 3 different versions of it on Xbox, and I've got...
I did not know there were 3 different versions.
I've got the 2012, the 2013, and the 2015, and then I also
those
have...
aren't the PS1 versions. PS1 was long.
No.
Like
this is
2002, 2003.
This is Xbox 360.
Yeah.
And then I've got the new, it's called Magic Duels. And I mean, it's a lot of fun to play. I've basically beat the computer, so to speak. And unless you've got money to dump into it, it's not any fun after that.
No, that's the issue with Magic in general. I mean, when I was playing Magic Online, I was like, all right, I spent like 2 hours putting together this awesome, white and black deck, using my best cards, and I immediately came across this deck that someone had found online that the champions use, and they had just copied that, and they beat me on the 3rd turn.
No.
It's like the only way I'm going to beat this guy is to shell out $2,000 on cards, and I'm not going to do that.
No. This one, you can buy the complete set of cards, and there's like 9 sets. There's like Chandelar and the Osiris, the one with the Egyptian themed one. You know what I'm talking about, right? There's King's the Year or something like that. There's a bunch of them, and you get all 9 of them. Plus, there's like these special cards that. Like you can't, they're the Planeswalker cards and all this stuff, different stuff, and it just, you can tell if it. And what they'll do is they'll take a guy like me, who just started. I'm like a level nothing, right? And they'll put me in with a guy against like a level 99 player.
Yeah.
There's no smart tournamenting, so to speak.
Unfortunate, man.
So, and basically this is what you do. You start the game, and if they have custom modded card skins, just leave.
Really?
It's not even worth.
Yeah.
Because that guy's got the money to spend like $60 on what the back of the card looks like. So like, this is pointless. If they don't have any of the, because there's like 4 of them that you can do for free that are different. And if it's not one of the free ones,
that's called baiting.
Yeah. if it's not one of the free ones, don't even waste your time.
My first in-person Magic tournament, I was playing green at the time, and I played a Hunted Wumpus, which is like a 4 mana cost 6/6 creature.
Yeah.
But the opponent can play any creature in their hand because it's a Hunted Wumpus. This dude had a Towering Colossus in his hand. I lost the next turn. Unbelievable, man.
Ouch!
You had this $30 card just happened to be in your hand. Are you kidding?
Right? Well, the reason we're talking about this is because it turns out that there is a crypto card game, and it's testing Magic sales records. And it's not even been released yet. That's the best part, is the game's not even been launched yet, and it's already trading. It says in the nerdy world of trading card games, the Black Lotus is still number 1. An early version of the rare Magic card sold for over $87,000 in July. But less than a week later, the record received a challenge, though it wasn't beaten. From an unlikely source, a crypto trading card for a new Ethereum-based game, Gods Unchained, sold at auction for 146 Ether, worth more than $60,000 at the time. As a notable figure, given that Magic is a quarter-century-old institution.
Yeah, but the person who bought that probably has hundreds of thousands of Ethereum.
Right.
So, to them it was
nothing.
Yeah.
While Gods Unchained has yet to launch, it's expected to go live on Ethereum in the 4th quarter. Still, according to those behind the platform, such figures are due to the excitement for both the game itself and the unique crypto asset broadly. Now, we're going to get into more of this and, nerdy stuff when we get back here on the Call to Freedom on LRN.FM.
I love My Magic Mud. I drink a lot of coffee. I had stains on my teeth. Then I found My Magic Mud, and I was told it would remove stains. So I paid attention when I brushed the first time. My Magic Mud is black tooth powder, and the difference it made in my teeth in one application was noticeable. With 4, my teeth were as white as you normal folks out there. Please go to mymagicmud.com and buy a jar. There's 150 applications for $25. You can use Bitcoin, mymagicmud.com.
I've been told no in many different ways.
I give you an order and you're going to obey it.
George, you can go this way. You can do that and you have to leave here.
You cannot bring signs into the rally.
Walk with me. Well, I'm comfortable here, actually. Whoa, Hey, who do you think you are? Excuse me.
There is no video and audio allowed in this office.
No, I have work today.
You ain't going to make it.
Wait a minute.
Hey! Oh my God! Unbelievable!
Why are you running from me? Because you're scared me. What am I being detained for?
You're being served.
What is this?
You're being served.
What is this?
Democrats have a funny way of telling people no.
That's the sound of the men working on the chain.
Derek J's Victimless Crime Spree. Watch it for free and order the Director's Cut DVD at victimlesscrimespree.com.
Now that you've found the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM, you may want to help expose others to our great programs. To assist you in doing so, you'll find resources at promote.lrn.fm, including details on how to get a free bumper sticker, quarter-page flyers you can print out and distribute, banners for your website, as well as files that will allow you to make your own custom banners and graphics. Visit promote.lrn.fm and help bring new listeners to the Liberty Radio Network. That's promote.lrn.fm.
So you've signed the Shire Society Declaration and are planning your move to New Hampshire to be around more liberty-oriented people. Next, sign up for the Shire Society Forum at forum.shiresociety.com. There are a bunch of people there who are already in the Shire, and they want to meet you. If you're already in the Shire physically, you should also come by the forums. Remember, not everyone uses Facebook. New people are signing up for the Shire Society Forum every month, so drop in and say hello at forum.shiresociety.com.
LRN.FM is proud to announce our official listening apps for Android and iOS devices. Now you can easily tune into our streams anywhere, anytime on your smartphone or tablet. Just visit apps.lrn.fm or search for LRN.FM in the Android or Apple app stores. Please download, rate us 5 stars, then share the link on your social media and let your friends and family know how you're listening to LRN.FM. Download it now, free at apps.lrn.fm.
Free Press Publications is an independent, alternative media and publishing company founded in June 2009 with the mission of ensuring a free press for the freedom movement and is committed to spreading the message of peace, freedom, love, and liberty. FPP also gives new authors an avenue for publishing freedom-oriented material. FPP brings you daily news and commentary on the website fpp.cc, as well as a daily 5-minute newscast, FPP Radio News, and weekly news, views, and commentary in the FPP Freedom Minute and Peace, Love, Liberty Radio at fppradio.com, and the monthly newspaper FPP News at news.fpp.cc. Find FPP online at fpp.cc. That's fpp.cc, as in Creative Commons.
Love what we do? Please help support our international satellite channels at patreon.lrn.fm. That's patreon.lrn.fm.
You are listening to The Call to Freedom on LRN.FM.
تستمتعون إلى برنامج نداء للحرية مباشرة على LRN.FM.
Welcome back here to the Call to Freedom here on... Nope.
Well, I knew that's not what that was. I was offering it as a suggestion.
Oh, no. You remember this? You remember the game Bully?
I have Bully through Steam, but
Yeah?
I've only... My nephew played it briefly, but it's... I just bought it because it was like $1.99.
This is the Vendetta Nerds theme song from Bully, from the Bully video game. The nerds that want.
I guess I should play it at some point.
Right? So we're back here on the Call to Freedom on LRN.FM. It's another beautiful day here in the Shire. And what we've been talking about, what is that? I hear running water, and it is not a mana card. It's free crypto. That's right. Give us a call.
It could also be a mana card.
Right. Give us a call, 603-283-6160. That's 603-283-6160. Come on, folks. You got cell phones. It's free. Give us a call again, 603
That's right. There is a Motion mobile wallet now.
6160. So you can get a Motion mobile wallet. Well, cell phones make the call free. You don't need 800 numbers to call from outside of New Hampshire and it still be free. There's no such thing as long-distance calls anymore. I'm sorry.
And you can also call over the internet.
That's right. You can hit us on our Discord line. We have 3 Discord lines at discord.lrn.fm. And we've also got our... Oh, wait. No, we got rid of Skype.
But we will be using it tomorrow to receive a call from Dr. Winkler.
Oh, it will be Skype.
Yeah. You only have it disabled so that it doesn't ring while we're on the air, but we can launch it like right before we.
Oh, okay.
Receive his
See,
call.
I don't know anything about anything, so. When it comes to like how the computer, like earlier, I was like scroll lock 2, and the screen went black, and I was like, Daryl, and he was like, I don't know, and then it said something like Linux something I don't know, and I was like, okay, scroll lock 2. And then it was fixed, and I was like, I don't know what just happened. And Daryl's like, you broke it. Yeah, probably. Probably. Anyway, so we were talking about this new crypto card game. It's called Gods Unchained, and it's modeled supposedly after Magic the Gathering. And, well, James Ferguson...
Which means it's designed to take as much of your money as possible.
Right? Oh, my God. You ain't kidding.
No, I'm not. That's why I don't play it now. I would do a draft tournament, but that is all I would be willing to do.
That's one thing I like about the Duels game, is that you can play the computer in Duels, you know what I'm saying, at different levels.
Yeah.
But, and you win the coins. And then the coins...
The one I have doesn't have coins.
The coins, well, you got to have a bunch of coins to buy a booster pack.
Okay.
But you can buy one booster pack. You have to win like 4 or 5 games at expert level to get enough coins.
I have not yet figured out how to get booster packs in 2013. They exist.
They do. You have to buy them.
That's the only way?
Yeah, it's the only way.
I'm stuck with the cards that came with the core game, and the only way to get more is to buy them with real money?
Yeah.
Well, they can screw off with that.
Yeah, I know, right?
If I'm going to buy real Magic cards, it's going to be either in person or in Magic Online.
Right, yeah.
Where I could actually use them to play a tournament and win money.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
Or lose money investing in cards and then win back, probably 1% of that.
Yeah, exactly. Well, that does happen a lot. Now, CEO James Ferguson of Fuel Games, the Sydney-based startup behind this new game, said that his company's creation, quote, it's a really compelling game. People would play regardless of it having anything to do with crypto. Yeah, doubt it.
Yeah, I mean, but that's because it's designed that way. It's designed to appeal to people, sort of in the same way as slot machines. Really, it's like, hey, give us your money and you'll have fun.
Have you seen the saturation in the trading card game market, though? It's insane.
Yeah,
it's insane.
It really got out of control once Blizzard and LucasArts and all of these other companies stepped into it. When it was just primarily Pokemon, Yu-Gi-Oh, and Magic, it was manageable.
Yeah.
But now
I thought Magic was Blizzard.
No, Magic is Wizards of the Coast.
Oh, Wizards of the Coast. That's
Blizzard is Hearthstone.
Hearthstone, that's right.
Yeah.
What else does Wizards of the Coast do that was really big?
World of Warcraft.
That was it. That was it. See, I don't know why I had that and the... for some reason, I had Baldur's Gate.
Well, because they're both time sinks designed to take money from bored people.
Yeah, well, yeah, and because the other Baldur's Gate and World of Warcraft are basically closed world versus open world versions of the same thing as well. But at least Baldur's Gate doesn't make me sink. Well, I guess if I want to buy number 2, it's going to cost a bunch of money to get the game. But I mean, it doesn't make me sink a bunch of money in game just to do anything.
Well, World of Warcraft doesn't either. They used they used a flat subscription fee of $15 a month. There's nothing you can buy in game with real money that would help your character at all.
That is awesome. When did they decide to start doing that?
World of Warcraft has always done that. It's the ones like Aeon and Rift. Aeon is pay to win. I love the game, but it's pay to win. So is Rift.
I thought World of Warcraft had buyable in-game items you could buy. Like
they do, but they don't help your character need. They're like minor stuff. You can buy cosmetic equipment.
Oh, they look cool.
Yeah, and you can buy pets.
Okay, so it looks cool, but like that gigantic sword you just bought may look boss, but it only does 4 damage.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Well, I mean, no, it won't do any damage. It'll do 0 damage. It'll just sit there. I mean, you can reskin your current equipment with it, but it's not going to boost your damage.
Oh, okay. Well,
and I've got to give them kudos on that. But when they're charging for expansions and the games and the core games that technically no longer even exists, and $15 a month, it kind of starts.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, Ferguson compared Gods Unchained to Magic and Hearthstone, a digital trading card game with similar gameplay and fantasy aesthetics to Magic. It's sort of complexity-wise and strategy-wise a step up from Hearthstone.
I think it's actually Hearthstone, but I don't know because I've never played it and I've never had occasion to pronounce the word Hearthstone. That came all across over the air. Yeah. But I loved Magic the Gathering, and I loved Pokemon when I was younger. Pokemon was a great introduction to trading card games. I don't object in principle to the idea of a cryptocurrency-based trading card game.
Whoever called back.
I object to the pay-to-win model and the obscene amounts of money that collectible card games become. And, it's because the word collectible is in there. I want to play a card game. I don't want to spend ridiculous amounts of money to be able to play the card game.
Yeah. Well, I mean, Magic, it's like $6 after taxes, and because most states aren't like New Hampshire.
For like a booster pack?
For one booster pack, yeah. It's like $6 for a booster pack for you to get with 10 cards.
Yeah, at least half of which are commons.
And you already have 20 of. So the only way to get reasonable cards is to go buy them individually, and then you're paying as much for more. You're paying.
Well, Stardot Games has them for really cheap, even the expensive ones. It's a website, but you're still buying individual cards for substantially over.
On Free Talk Live, we're bringing people to the ideas of liberty every day. From wrestling superstars like Glenn Jacobs.
You guys really are having an impact, I believe. Like I said, a lot of where I am now is due to listening to Free Talk Live. You changed my mind on some very important issues years ago.
To random people tuning in on the radio.
I was kind of stuck in the left-right paradigm. I heard your show by chance on a Saturday night. From there, I went on, joined the Free State Project, and become an amplifier. So, I mean, that's really the reason why I amp is because I know that if it wasn't for you guys being on as many stations as you are, I never would have found the ideas of liberty.
Your amp will directly change more lives by getting Free Talk Live in front of people looking for talk radio online and on the air. When you amp Free Talk Live, you get perks like access to the AMP-only Facebook group and AMP podcast. Visit amp.freetalklive.com. The new 4th edition of Healing Our World, The Compassion of Libertarianism, will take your understanding of liberty to a deeper level and has over 1,300 updated references, new cartoons, and a foreword by Dr. Ron Paul. With discounts for multiple book purchases, the 4th edition of Healing Our World is a great gift for the liberals, pragmatists, environmentalists, and Christians in your life who think libertarianism is cold-hearted. Get yours today at healing.freetalklive.com and use promo code FTL for a $5 discount. The Free State Project has reached its goal of 20,000 liberty lovers who've pledged to move to New Hampshire and get active to achieve liberty in our lifetime. Perhaps you're trying to figure out what part of New Hampshire should be your destination. If so, consider Keene. You'll find more than 150 reasons to move to Keene at move.freekeene.com. Keene is famous for its historic, publicity-generating activism, as well as being the liberty media capital of the world. It's home to freekeene.com, New Hampshire's destination for liberty activism, news, and opinion. For years, we've been compiling over 150 reasons to move to Keene at move.freekeene.com, where you'll learn about some of what's happening here and what makes Keene a great place to live. If you love liberty, you'll probably enjoy anywhere you end up in the Shire. But do your due diligence first. Please visit move.freekeene.com for the full list of over 150 reasons to move to Keene. That's move.freekeene.com. There are lots of ways to listen to Free Talk Live. Our podcast has been around since podcasts began, and now the FTL feed is loaded with content besides our full show archives. Did you know that we make it easy for you to customize your podcast subscriptions? We have different feeds, one that includes only our full shows, one with just the Daily Digest, and one with just the Edgington Post. You decide what you listen to. It's quick and easy to customize your feeds at feeds.freetalklive.com. That's feeds.freetalklive.com.
This is Michael Dean from the Freedom Fiends. I've run websites since 1996 and have used over a dozen web hosts in that time. AgristHosting.com is the only one that hasn't broken my heart. Agrist Hosting's uptime and service is stellar. and their DDoS mitigation is the best I've seen. That's important because if you tell the truth in this world, you'll ruffle feathers. And some people will try dirty tricks to silence your voice. No matter what the haters hit us with, Agorist Hosting keeps our websites online. If you have a mission-critical commercial presence or a world-changing activism site, you cannot tolerate any skullduggery. So go with agoristhosting.com. Have a WordPress or blog site, but you're not satisfied with performance or uptime? Or just want raw hosting? Want to pay with Bitcoin? Agorist Hosting specializes in high-performance hosting with personalized service. Go to agoristhosting.com and click on the button that says Get Hosted. That's agoristhosting.com.
This is the Liberty Radio Network, broadcasting the latest liberty-oriented audio content 24 hours a day at LRN.FM.
You are listening to the Call to Freedom on LRN.FM. आप सुन रहे हैं स्वतंत्रता की पुकार सिर्फ और सिर्फ LRN.FM पे.
All right, welcome back to
is a burning thing, and it makes a fiery ring, bound by wild desire. I fell into a ring of fire, 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 fire.
All right, welcome back here to the Call to Freedom here on LRN.FM. In the middle of our crypto hour, brought to you by the Motion Project over at motionproject.org. Go check them out and put your idea into motion. So, let's see here. Well, we've got a caller on the line with us. We've been talking about this new game from an Australian development company, and it's basically it's Magic the Gathering on the Ethereum blockchain. But right now we've got wow, that's
every time you speak. Hey, do you have?
We've got Bad Slave on with us right now. How you doing today, Bad Slave?
I'm doing great, thank you very much. And I want to welcome Aria. And
thank you.
You know, and thank her for moving. You know, welcome. You come from somewhere else, right?
Yes.
Are you listening?
Yeah. Can you hear me?
Yeah. There's a delay or something. I don't know. It's weird.
Okay, I'm from Mississippi.
Well, I'm looking at the phone is behind the picture, so it's throwing me off.
Okay. Oh yeah, definitely. The Twitch feed is delayed by a couple of seconds, so you probably just want to kind of ignore it while we're on the call.
That's a good idea, right? So where is it that you all moved? Was it Pennsylvania?
No, it was Mississippi, much further southwest than Pennsylvania.
That's right. Well, like I say,
the butthole of the South.
I came up in New Hampshire in '91, and I've been waiting for stuff like this to happen, and you're part of that stuff. So it's like fabulous. Thank you very much for making the relocation.
I'm glad to be here. I'm a little off-put by how cold it gets at night during the middle of August.
Oh my God, what are you talking about? I woke up at 4 o'clock this morning covered in sweat. And Aria's talking about, I'm freezing.
I love the cold nights. I think you just get enough blankets on you and you sleep wonderfully.
Well, during the sleep part of it, I'm fine. Yeah, because I have fleece blankets and all that good crap. It's the
right.
going outside to smoke when it's like 60 degrees where You know, that's. I'm from
Yeah.
Mississippi. It's just about a tropical rainforest there. It's about 5%
Well, you
humidity
know-
from being considered one.
Yeah.
So I'm used to substantially warmer weather than this.
Well, I got a
Smoking is smoking is a nasty habit anyway. So
I got a new.
Hold on, because that gets
uh-oh.
thrown around a lot. Let me ask you a question. When you encounter heroin addicts, do you tell them that they have a nasty habit?
I'm shit. Yeah.
Okay, you use those words.
You know, the thing is I really
Can't
don't.
cuss,
I
Pat Slade.
don't encounter that many. But I mean, I would.
Okay,
I
when you
would-
encounter an alcoholic, then, or anyone with any sort of addiction, because this is a common thing where nicotine addiction, you're treated as less than human.
Right.
You're not allowed to be a smoker in today's society.
I don't want to do that at all. No, but the thing is that until
telling an addict that they have a filthy habit is demeaning and disgusting. It is, because it's an addiction, dude. No, it's an addiction, dude.
Let me make my statement about it. I have never smoked, so I've avoided that problem, and so I'm sitting here looking at your face again.
I smoked for 25 years. I did. I smoked cigarettes for 25 years. I've been quit for about a year, and from what I've heard, I'm the coolest. I'm the coolest person that ever quit smoking because
for sure.
Because I don't harass people who quit smoking about the fact that they smoke. Because it's like
many
I
smokers.
hate it when people used to do that to me.
Many smokers do have filthy habits, throwing cigarette butts down and things like that.
Yeah, you'd never know.
Right.
Yeah.
At least you're clean.
Yeah, no,
You're cleaner than I used to be.
and any bit that you're not trying to start forest fires and all that, I'm really happy with. But I mean, even in people that are, I know a lot of people that are like beer alcoholics. They can't just drink 2 beers. They have to have 6 or 8 or whatever.
Okay, would you tell them that they're filthy?
I had a brother-in-law that had a habit. He had to have 3 beers for breakfast. He needed 3 cans of natural ice to wake up. That was my sister's first husband.
And those ice beers are higher alcohol content too.
Oh, it was the cheap stuff, natty ice.
Still reserved.
I just, the thing with smoking is
so
that
easy for me to
you don't have
that nicotine
to quit.
is the most addictive substance on the planet.
Yeah.
Right. You don't have to quit because
don't say
it's
vaping.
not as bad as the death penalty that getting too much carfentanil or fentanyl in you is going to be. But
it is. It's just slower. I'm going to die of smoking.
It's slower,
there's no doubt.
And I don't know if you've experienced somebody who's OCD and going with the oxygen and hardly can move around, and then what I really hate.
Yeah,
what
and
I
most of them
really
actually
hate
weren't smokers.
Is women who smoke so much that they sound like a truck driver.
Oh yeah, I
male
know
truck
those
driver.
kind of ladies. I used to have one that I worked with.
Yeah. And I'm like.
I mean, as a trans chick with kind of a deep voice anyway, I don't know how to respond to that. I honestly don't.
Well, you know what? You're not. You don't have that voice, so you're probably not the heavy smoker. I don't know. But I mean, I recommend people do the vaping. I think vaping is a wonderful way to deliver whatever.
I really think
it does not scratch the itch, man.
Everybody is an individual. My mom used this thing. It was a little bitty timer. It was the only thing that ever worked for her and my dad. It was a little timer that told her when she could smoke. And every time even if she didn't want to, and every time the timer went off, the next timer was further away and further away and further away and further away. And it eventually got to the point where the smoking the cigarettes was making her sick. She would get nauseous from smoking the cigarettes, and she didn't even like the taste of them anymore. And that's when she was like,
well, before we go out to break, let me get this out. Having been addicted to opiates before, there is nothing on this earth that would make me go through withdrawals again. If that means I have to die from smoking, I'm going to die from smoking. I have zero desire to quit because that's going to involve withdrawals. Been there, done that. Not doing it again. It is easier to die than it is to go through withdrawals.
If marijuana, medicinal cannabis becomes, kind of freer, as I expect it will, maybe you can supplant your nicotine for cannabis, no?
I have no desire to.
No.
Whatsoever.
Really?
No. No, dude, I've been through. I've been through
something that.
I'm telling you, I would rather die than deal with withdrawals from addiction again.
But people,
hold on, guys.
People use cannabis to deal with.
We'll be back after the break.
Cell 411 is a free app for Android and iOS that replaces government-controlled 911. Cell 411 allows you to preset a group of friends or private organizations to show up at any emergency. Cell 411 is a nightmare for the state because it proves their so-called services aren't needed. Cell 411 has had thousands of installs, and of course it's covered by the BIPCOT no government license. Cell 411 because your friends won't shoot you when you're in trouble. Without the government, who would build the emergency services? You and Cell 411. Get it today at getcell411.com.
Is spreading the message of liberty, cryptocurrency, and peace around the globe worth $2 per month to you? As you may already know, in addition to our internet feed, LRN.FM broadcasts on free-to-air satellite across North and Central America, as well as Sub-Saharan Africa. And we've been available on satellite for free 24/7 since 2010. The LRN.FM free-to-air satellite signal is reaching some of the most oppressive regimes in the world, and there's no doubt our ideas are making an impact. You can learn more about the channel's impact by watching the 3-minute video at fund.lrn.fm. If you'd like to help free minds globally with our ideas of liberty, cryptocurrency, and peace, you can donate as little as $2 per month via fund.lrn.fm. You can help us continue and expand our satellite broadcast to multiple continents. Visit fund.lrn.fm today, and thank you for your help. Don't forget to share the link on social media. That's fund.lrn.fm. LRN.FM now has a Discord. Discord is a free text and voice chat platform, and we now have our own server with a bunch of channels at discord.lrn.fm. You can join other listeners as they chat about various things during our live shows, or anytime, day or night. Discord software is available cross-platform, so you can have it on whatever device you want and take your chats anywhere. Join our Discord at discord.lrn.fm. That's discord.lrn.fm.
We've all heard about blockchain assets like Dogecoin, Ether, and Ripple. Bitcoin isn't the only player in the blockchain game any longer. And for those of us wondering how to get our hands on these digital assets, finally, there's a solution. Shapeshift.io allows you to buy and sell between your digital assets and Bitcoin instantly between your own digital wallets. I've used it with ease. Shapeshift.io. There's no account or email address needed. You send them the crypto you want to sell. They send back the crypto you want to buy. It's that easy. Shapeshift.io.
Did you know you can get news updates about what's happening with the Liberty Radio Network delivered in the way you prefer? You can sign up for our email updates at updates.lrn.fm. Plus, you can stay in the loop by joining our Facebook profile at facebook.lrn.fm or follow us at Twitter at twitter.lrn.fm. It's all free, so sign up now at updates.lrn.fm for news updates delivered to your email box, facebook.lrn.fm to follow our Facebook page, and twitter.lrn.fm to receive our tweets.
Hours spent volunteering at a local homeless shelter truly make her death at the hands of a drunk driver earlier this week all the harder to take for this school and this community.
I never knew Amanda, but everywhere I went there were touching reminders of the caring friend she would have been to me had I known her.
Losing Amanda was one of the hardest things I've ever had to deal with, but I knew I had to be strong for this community. I couldn't let them go through the funeral without my support.
She's so much better than all of us. She was so much good. She cared about so many people. She loved you so much. What's your name? She loved you, Russell.
And we have O'Brady Shaw with us right now.
Thanks, Brooke.
Not quite how I would have reported the story. Seems a bit unprofessional to let yourself get so emotional.
Well, when people are feeling pain, I feel it too. Don't you ever get emotionally invested in a story?
No, I don't. You know, I had my tear ducts cauterized years ago, and I like to keep my emotions stored in a special place in my mind where they only come out for my night terrors.
This is the Onion News Network.
You can sign up to receive the latest about the Liberty Radio Network via our email updates at updates.lrn.fm. That's updates.lrn.fm.
You are listening to the Call to Freedom on LRN.FM. Unasikiliza wito wa uhuru katika LRN.FM.
Rick? Hey, Morty. Rick? Are you far away or are you inside something? Is the camera? Is everything a camera?
All right, welcome back to the final segment of this afternoon's Crypto Hour, brought to you by the Motion Project over at motionproject.org. We've been talking about this new crypto Magic the Gathering, basically, is what it is. It's a cryptocurrency version of Magic the Gathering. It's on the Ethereum blockchain. But I wanted to make sure we hit this story, this last, because it gave me a little giggle in the funny spots. When I saw this title, it says, Binance sees volume growth as Coinbase nurses an 80% drop. Maybe snitching out your customer base isn't the best way to keep your customers. Binance has destroyed Coinbase and other major exchanges on volume in 2018 despite criticism of its altcoin-heavy focus. Data reveals steep declines. The latest issue of monitoring resource Dyer's newsletter presents startling data from some of the best-known cryptocurrency trading platforms, with Coinbase's overall volume plummeting 83% in the 7 months to July. Bitstamp handled 73% less volume. Like hearing that, too. Let's see here. While Binance's volumes remain steady, it's almost like having your name mentioned in every single person got arrested for selling Bitcoin case might affect whether or not people want to do business with you.
Well, I don't know. Local Bitcoin is still doing pretty good.
True.
And they're always mentioned as well.
They are, but they're not mentioned as the company that called or that is providing material information.
Yeah.
You know,
I think the issue is actually just that, the crypto flippers use Coinbase because it's the easiest way of buying and selling crypto by far.
Yeah.
So those flippers aren't messing with it right now.
Well, yeah.
And they haven't been messing with it this year.
At all, because there's no money to be made in flipping really this year.
And I think that's
market's
probably
too
why
unstable.
Coinbase is down instead of any sort of...
It says here Kraken is also down. Kraken is also having steep declines. Meanwhile, token exchanges outside the U.S. that have lax regulator scrutiny are now seeing an increase in trade. Like I said, quit kissing the government's butt and maybe your customer base will come back. The numbers cap an increasingly buoyant year for Binance, which has undergone major expansion to begin its European trading operations last week. The fortunes of both the exchange and its native token Binance Coin have been fueled by aggressive altcoin trading policies, with the platform shielding itself from market turndowns through altcoin trading availability. At the same time, cryptocurrency commentators have widely criticized Binance and its CEO, Changpeng Zhu, over alleged multi-million-dollar token listing fees, pseudo-decentralization claims, and subjective selection processes. If you have a decentralized cryptocurrency with a founder that disappeared, you can never get listed on exchanges. Twitter personality Whale Panda noted on Twitter in July, Bitcoinist reporting that, according to Zhu's guidelines, Bitcoin would struggle to list on Binance today. Nonetheless, the exchange's success contrasts with the overall slump in altcoin profitability. Assets outpacing Bitcoin's losses in a bleed which accelerated this July. Coinbase appears to be increasing its interaction with altcoins. Dyer notes that in a bid to win back market share while also pursuing international expansion beyond the U.S. market. Its decentralized bulletin board, Paradex.io, has beaten Binance to DexPost Zhu saying his own decentralized offering could one day replace the current incarnation of Binance altogether. You got an idea about why Coinbase is losing so much money, so much customer base, besides the possibility, what you're saying, it's the flippers?
Well, I think you're probably correct.
Yeah, but there's only like 7 coins on Coinbase, though.
They are, but they're the big ones that people flip.
Most of the flipping that I've seen people do has been smaller stuff, like the pump and dump stuff.
True.
You know, so that's where your flippers are. They're in the pump and dump rooms and all that kind of stuff, which, I mean, if you want to lose money, it's a really good place to go. But if you want to make money, then, you know, do research. You know, like research. You know, we love Zencash because we put a lot of effort into learning about Zencash, and Zencash is super, super open about what they do.
Yeah, I remember being super impressed with them.
It's still
like almost embarrassingly so.
Still impressed. I'm still
for sure.
impressed with them. Very impressed. But you have to look because it's a product. It's a good. You know, I mean, it's not money. It really isn't. You can't pay you taxes with it, really. So by modern definitions, it's really not money. It's a good. It's a commodity. It's like gold or wheat, corn, tomatoes. You're bartering. It's digital corn, digital wheat, digital loaves of bread, whatever you want to call it, but it's a good because it has other things it has other utilities other than just exchange. You know? There are other
so does
things.
gold, but it's still a currency.
No, it's not. Gold is not a currency.
We don't treat it as one.
No, it's not a currency. Legally, it's not a currency.
I don't care about legally. I mean, legally, you can't smoke weed.
It's not money.
Do ecstasy.
You know,
any of these
right?
awesome things I enjoy.
The
government has outlawed like 90% of my personality. And they've taxed the other 10%.
I think they taxed part of the outlawed as well.
True.
Anyway, where was I? Gold's technically not money.
Well, I mean, technically it is. We just don't treat it as money here in the U.S.
Well, if it's a bar, it's not money. If it's in a necklace, it's not money. If it's in a coin, you can call it money, but that's illegal. Silver's not
legally,
money.
Bitcoin isn't money,
but it is.
When they want to tax it.
Yeah. No. When they want to tax it. When they want to tax it, it's a commodity.
That's right. It's when they want to collect it.
Yeah.
For fines and stuff.
Yeah,
then it's a currency.
Yeah. It's whatever they need it to be at that time. Are they
confiscate it?
To confiscate it or to prosecute.
Yep. Don't you love our government?
Yeah. You know what was it that Sam Adams said? Something about the definition of tyranny is to change the meaning of words or something like that. Like there's something about like how when government makes words mean things that they don't, or changes the meaning of simple words. When governments change the meaning of simple words, that's the basis of tyranny. And that's what we have. We have a government that will just, we've decided this is this in this instance, but it's this in this other instance, and it's this in this other instance, even though all three can be the exact same at the same time. Whatever it takes for us to win, that's what it is.
Yeah.
Whatever it takes for us to stop you from doing whatever it is we don't want you to do. So, oh well. It's just the way things are.
I mean,
you live and you learn. You learn things.
I mean, well, only government could get away with murdering people and not have it be called murder, or stealing from people and not having it called theft.
Right.
I mean, and that's part of the whole power-based morality structure that we have going on, where we exclude it because they're the ones with the power. It's like they said in the Latin, whoever has the gold makes the rules. Mm-hmm. Only it's ultimately power, and that gold is just a representation of that power.
Yeah.
But I mean,
they
do.
The gold gives you the influence to have the power to make the rules. You can buy the army. You can buy having the gold gives you the ability to buy the mercenaries that you use to gain the power.
Sure.
The government couldn't run without money. If it wasn't stealing our money, it couldn't pay men with blue uniforms and magic badges to kick people's doors in.
Right.
For a plant.
Well, it's like they said on Rick and Morty when they collapsed the space government or whatever. Your pay is the honor you feel from serving. And that lasted all of half a second.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, that's why Venezuela bribes their police and their military with toilet paper and rabbit meat.
In the country where my wife comes from, if you get pulled over, you can just give the cop a 20. And like, that's it. They'll pull you over for nothing just so you'll give them the 20. If they think
Which
you're
is still
a tourist.
cheaper than the ticket they're going to give you.
Exactly. Or doing jail in a Kenyan jail cell.
Yeah.
Anyway, when we get back here, it sounds like if Abel actually calls back, we're about to have a very interesting conversation.
Since time began, tyrants have taken aim at personal liberties. Now there's a movie that aims back.
The government has no more right to tell us what to put in our bodies than they have to take our guns or tell us what books we can read.
6 drug police were eaten by bears while raiding a marijuana farm.
On your knees, you dirty hippie! Jesus. On your knees! What's the problem, officer?
Today, many cops who enforce pot laws do so only because it provides them with cushy jobs, good benefits, and a chance to push people around.
I was an undercover narcotics officer. The drug war is nothing but a farce.
The Second Amendment says you gotta keep you and your gat intact.
Guns and Weed, The Road to Freedom. A film by Michael W. Dean and Nima Vadati.
DVD available now at gunsandweed.com or on Amazon. That's gunsandweed.com. Makes the perfect gift. Remember, that's gunsandweed.com.
Imagine someone in your community getting in their car, turning on the radio, and hearing the Liberty Radio Network. You can make that vision a reality with your own micro radio station. Visit broadcast.lrn.fm to learn how you can put our programs on the air in your area. You can have LRN.FM running around the clock, and you can even add in your own local shows. Building a radio station is simple, but programming isn't. That's where LRN.FM comes in. Learn more at broadcast.lrn.fm. That's broadcast.lrn.fm.
When you hear the word lobbyist, you probably think about greedy corporations, but not all lobbyists are the same. Some are fighting for the freedoms you hold dear. Liberty Lobby LLC is doing just that in New Hampshire, working hard to represent you, not some special interest group. You can help by going to libertylobby.info, where your contribution will give us the tools we need to ensure that your voice is heard. Visit libertylobby.info today to find out more.
More of the Call to Freedom is coming up next, live after the news on the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
From Keene, the Shire, the Liberty Media capital of the world, this is Daryl W. Perry, host of FPP Radio News for Wednesday, August 22nd, 2018. Silver is trading at $14.87 per ounce. Gold is valued at $1,201 per ounce. Zencash is trading at $22, and the average price of Bitcoin is $6,674. Antiwar.com reports that Russia's foreign ministry reacted critically to the U.S. Treasury Department's new announcement of sanctions on Tuesday, saying the allegations of malicious cyber attacks were groundless. The cyber activities were allegedly centered on evading previous sanctions. The sanctions targeted Slovakia-based Lacno SRO and Russia's Velamarine. The Russian company said it was baffled by the decision to target them, as the U.S. claims the diving equipment they provided to the Russian government was used to violate sanctions. Russian officials said the whole sanctions effort was done under false pretense, and that the Russians would soon offer a retaliation against the U.S. over the sanctions. Both sides have launched tit-for-tat measures against one another for years, and despite the Trump administration wanting to improve relations, they are constantly hitting Russia with new sanctions. Where this all ends is anyone's guess, but Russia has tended to make its retaliatory moves as close as possible to identical to the U.S. moves. This likely means they'll target a couple of Western companies and officials in this case. You can support FPP Radio by shopping online. Whether you're looking for precious metals, bitcoins, or books, you'll find that and more at shop.fppradio.com. Every purchase you make from one of my affiliates, like Namecheap and Amazon, at shop.fppradio.com helps fund FPP Radio. That's shop.fppradio.com. UPI reports the U.S. Coast Guard referred the deadly sinking of a Missouri amphibious tour boat to federal investigators for a possible criminal case on Tuesday. Coast Guard spokeswoman Alana Miller confirmed the case in which the so-called duck boat capsized on Table Rock Lake near Branson, Missouri, killing 17 people, was referred to U.S. Attorney's Office for the Western District of Missouri. Miller said during the course of the initial part of our investigation, the fact-finding part, we identified stuff that could point to some sort of criminal activity, and we are not in the business of criminal investigations. After the boat was raised out of the water last month, Coast Guard Lieutenant Tasha Sanowicz said the military branch's investigation would focus on the limits on when the boat could enter the water based on wind speed and the height of waves. The Coast Guard previously determined the cause of the failure was the rapidly worsening river conditions, but also cited a failure to anticipate the change in the weather conditions. Miller did not clarify what criminal activity is suspected, but said the Marine Board of Investigations used its collective judgment and consulted with its legal department before the incident was referred. She also told the Springfield News Leader the Coast Guard would continue its safety investigation. In 2115 New England, there are no borders, no states, and no regulations, yet never has a more peaceful and prosperous place existed. But Mr. Drake Security Company has seen better days. Faced with the prospect of waning power, Mr. Drake intends to replace the anarchy of New England with a government. But at what cost? Will anybody care? And can anyone stop him? Anarchy in New England by Joe Jarvis is available from Amazon.com and all major bookstores. Reuters reports University of North Carolina police on Tuesday were reviewing video to find the protesters who toppled the statue of a Confederate soldier on campus, part of a recent movement to dismantle U.S. Civil War symbols that critics say glorify the South's legacy of slavery. About 300 demonstrators gathered on Monday evening for a protest and marched at the base of Silent Sam, a memorial erected in 1913 to soldiers of the Confederacy killed during the Civil War. Protesters pulled the statue down with rope, cheering as it lay face down in the mud, its head and back covered in dirt. The University Systems Board Chair Harry Smith and President Margaret Spelling denounced the toppling of the statue in a joint statement. They said the actions were unacceptable, dangerous, and incomprehensible. We are a nation of laws, and mob rule and the intentional destruction of public property will not be tolerated. Last year, UNC students threatened to sue the school, alleging that the university violated federal anti-discrimination laws by allowing the statue to remain on campus. North Carolina Governor Roy Cooper said in a statement he shared protesters' frustrations over statues, but condemned the violent destruction of public property. Campus police arrested at least one person at the protest for wearing a mask and resisting arrest. The statue of Confederate General Robert E. Lee was vandalized and later removed by school officials last year at nearby Duke University in Durham, North Carolina. You can support FPP Radio by joining the Fans program. To learn more or to join the Fans program, visit fans.fppradio.com. This has been FPP Radio News, online at fppradio.com.
Last night's Victoria's Secret fashion show was a true ratings winner, particularly with men who don't know that actual pornography exists. The angels' feather costumes and silk nightgowns were a hit with 30 to 35-year-old male viewers who had no idea that nude images of all the models are easily accessible on the internet. And the show did equally well with 10 to 12-and-a-half-year-old boys who are going to have their minds blown when they finally get around their parents' internet blockers. CBS executives are touting the broadcast as breakthrough programming for people who are excited by the tops of boobs. Producer Dave Mitchell told Variety, quote, "The $2.5 million fantasy bra is a big draw with women who shop at Victoria's Secret, and an even bigger draw with men who've never seen or heard about sex before." The runway show drew expected outrage from the Christian Family Research Council. Executive Director Kathy Rouse charged that the event degrades women by objectifying them, most likely because she's never seen a Ukrainian prostitute receive a bukkake shower from a gang of cracked-out Albanian teens.
This is the Onion News Network. You are listening to the Call to Freedom live on LRN.FM. تستمعون إلى نداء للحرية مباشرة على LRN.FM.
Visit with
Welcome back into the Call to Freedom here on LRN.FM. Broadcasting live from our Zencast studio here in beautiful Keene, New Hampshire. It is the third hour of your Wednesday afternoon drive home broadcast today. Joined live in the studio by Miss Aria DiMezzo.
Indeed. Playing Tom tonight in GoldenEye.
Yeah. Stank Eye? What? GoldenEye? Mm-hmm. And also...
Should be awesome. We're going to stream it live on Twitch at twitch.tv/Aria DiMezzo.
Oh, right on, right on.
So you can watch me kill him in real time.
Yeah. We got to get a good... well, you don't have... See, we're going to have to figure out a way to get a good Magic Planeswalker... The board game. You know the board game? With you can play with up to 4 players?
I'm familiar with the two-headed giant mode.
No, you don't know the 4-player game? Oh, I have to introduce you to that. It is so much fun. It is crazy.
I mean, if we're going to do that, we might as well just play tabletop games like D&D.
Yeah, but he's not here.
Yes, but Skype is a thing.
Yeah, right. Anyway,
I have been desperate enough to do that before.
Not me. I'm not desperate enough to play like Vampire the Masquerade via Skype.
Did you ever play Magic against yourself though?
No, I always had the computer game. If I wanted to play,
I mean, how did you test out decks? I mean, I probably spent 75% of my time playing myself.
I played people. That's how I tested out decks. We played in school.
Well, so did we.
But we played at lunch.
Well, I wanted to win, so I wasn't willing to test out a deck against another person.
Okay. Anyway, so we're joined right now. We were talking earlier to a longtime listener of our show and of Free Talk Live as well, and LRN in general, Mr. Bad Slave, and he's got some questions. Now, many of you know that I run the local mosque here in Keene. I also travel around from time to time and give lectures and presentations at other mosques and at political events around the country, usually relating to Islam. I've spent quite a few years of my life studying Islam. I was just talking to Aria while I'm at work at my other job from 6 until 9. From 7 until 10. I listen to lectures from popular, well-known Islamic scholars from Zaytuna College, from Cambridge University, and that's basically what I do while I'm working. Is I have a little earbud in one ear, and I'm waxing the floor, listening to a dissertation on the Ihya Ulum al-Din by Ibn Muhammad al-Ghazali. So that's like, I know I'm a nerd. That's my fun spare time.
Well, I can't say anything. I spend my spare time reading Nietzsche, man. So.
Right. So, Bad Slave,
and playing Magic the Gathering. So, who's the nerd here?
Do you have earphones, Bad Slave?
I do.
Can you put them in? Because we're hearing the broadcast back.
I don't know why. I can see on the screen here that the LRN and my audio are showing up at the same time. So are you the LRN.FM?
Yes, that's us.
Okay.
But when I speak, there it is again. You hear it, Aria? When we speak, we're getting an echo back from your end. So what's happening is when I talk, the sound comes out on your end, and then your microphone is picking it up and echoing it back to us.
I can just go back to the regular phone.
That works too.
All right.
Yes, please do that.
There's something that's wrong with Discord right now to cause that. With Discord and LRN, not me, because I don't have any LRN going right now.
What I'm saying is that. Can you not do tech support on the air?
Yeah, you're getting an echo, and
so just call us on a regular.
Just call us on a regular line.
Yeah,
all right,
that's what I'll do.
Cool.
Yeah.
I wasn't really noticing it, but no, I can hear us back. So anyway, when we finally do get the regular call, we were speaking off the air, and Bad Slave was talking about, the fact that I'm really, and that's part of the purpose of the show, is, I'm really the only, Muslim that a lot of people have access to, particularly in right-wing radio airspace. So, or
You're the
libertarian.
only one I know.
Yeah, or libertarian
and have ever
radio.
spoken to with any sort of, in-depth
discussion.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, and
I'm sure the people I've met at gas stations and things like that are Muslims. In fact, I knew some of them were, but I wasn't going to sit down and ask them about their faith.
Yeah. Well,
generally they were working. They didn't want to.
Yeah, like I'm at work, Like, I don't have time for this.
Right.
I'd love to talk to you later, but not now.
Yeah. Which I guess is my fault for not, reaching out to them when they were outside of the clock. But, I learned a long time ago that the perception that was being fed to me about Muslims by the media couldn't possibly be correct. So I just discarded that opinion on them entirely. I was like, okay, well, these are just people too, and that's really all I need to know.
Yeah. So, all right. So we do have back with us. We finally got through on a regular landline. We've got Bad Slave with us, and he's got some questions. He's intimated that basically he doesn't have access to other Muslim voices, and some of the things that he has heard me say in lectures, he possibly finds kind of problematic. Maybe, I'm not really sure. I'm fairly certain he's gonna, elucidate on that though. So, welcome to the show, Bad Slave. Hello. 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 Seriously.
Well, his comment was that, some of what he had heard, I suppose, about Muhammad sounded authoritarian. And while I appreciate that, just about every Muslim will have their own interpretation of the Quran and of Islam in general, just like most Christians will, and just like most people of any faith will, I will say that what you have told me about Islam is the least objectionable religious stuff I've ever heard. So I'm curious what examples he's referring to.
Well, I think he's with us now. Bad Slave, you on with us now? Hello.
This is getting awkward.
Yeah, I know. Bad Slave, are you there? How about over here? Are you here? No, he's not on the line. He's not on the line.
I did not hear him.
I don't know. I can't hear it either. I can't hear anything through the phone line.
That's uncomfortable.
Oh, well.
Well, I mean, we can address that point.
Well, look, I guess we'll try this again. You there, Bad Slave?
Yeah.
Okay. I don't know.
How am I there?
I don't know why it's not working on the phone line, but
are we on the Discord again?
We are on Discord because the telephone wasn't working.
And there's still that delay.
And
there's still a delay. Yeah.
I mean, it's very slight, but it's going to be problematic for listeners.
It is. So, yeah, and unless you
I'm wondering,
unless you
guys jumped on it. I thought I shut off Discord.
Well, not if you're in it, connected to us, talking to us.
Yeah. Huh? Yeah, you're connected to it, talking to us.
I'm using this Android phone, which I'm not the best at.
All right. Well,
he can talk.
Are you a cryptocurrency advocate? The Crypto Tip is the ideal outreach tool to help new people discover cryptocurrency. It's a printable business card-sized tip that you can give to service providers, preferably in addition to a good cash tip. When the server scans the QR code, it'll bring up an explanation of cryptocurrency, how to install a wallet, and allow them to claim the tip. If they don't claim the crypto, you get your tip refunded to you after a time period you specify. Plus, if they do claim the tip, you get an email alert. Create as many tips as you want at cryptotip.org. That's cryptotip.org.
The warning signs.
At first, he made me feel special. He promised he'd look after me, provide for my future. He broke every promise he made.
Millions of Americans afflicted.
I was ready to leave, but he told me he'd change. So I gave him another chance. I was such a fool.
The consequences.
Things only got worse. He started making my decisions for me. About my job, my kids' education, my money, my safety, my future. He took away my choices. But I kept going back to the same politicians.
The diagnosis? Battered voter syndrome.
I fell for the same old lies. They were just playing with my emotions, telling me what I wanted to hear. That's not right.
If you're tired of the two-party system but want to support a principled Libertarian Party, check out the Libertarian Party of New Hampshire at lpnh.org. That's lpnh.org.
The 3 most important things you can do for LRN.FM are: 1. Let your friends know you're listening to LRN.FM on your social networking profile. 2. Buy the things you buy online through shop.lrn.fm. 3. Give $5 a month to the AMP program at amp.lrn.fm. It's my firm belief that the AMP program is the best use of your charitable dollar among liberty-oriented groups. Support all your favorite organizations, but make sure you give $5 a month to the AMP program at amp.lrn.fm.
Did you know that Free Aid is a mutual aid, educational, and networking organization? At Free Aid, we support volunteers who provide first aid. We do outreach to the public about health and safety, and we bring together medically skilled freedom lovers. Free Aid is made possible by your generous support. Donors can receive great gifts like first aid kits, t-shirts, silver dime cards, and hoodies. The Free Aid Silver Dime Card Project is sponsored in part by Roberts & Roberts Brokerage, Freedom's Phoenix, and Don't Tread on Meme. Visit fr33aid.com.
Did you know we've taken our LRN.FM telephone listen line to a new level with the LRN.FM audio on demand line? Now you can call 712-770-8447 anytime and listen to LRN.FM's live feed. And you can listen to a bunch of our original shows on demand. Long distance fees may apply. Just dial 712-770-8447 and choose from the menu. 712-770-8447. Why did you move to the Shire?
I moved here to the Shire because there's other people around who take liberty just as seriously as I do.
I moved to the Shire because I saw videos of people challenging authority and thought that I could get support myself. It called to me, like, do this right now.
I wanted to be around people like me who got it. And once I got here, I knew there was nowhere else that I wanted to be.
I've always wanted to change the world. So I moved to the Shire to join people who were actually working towards doing the same thing.
The people here are awesome, loving, and positive. It was for the adventure and for the feeling of something important is happening here. And I just wanted to come to sort of be part of that.
Visit ShireSociety.com to read and sign the Shire Society Declaration and learn the reasons why, if you love liberty, you should immigrate to the Shire. Plus, add yourself to the Shire map at ShireSociety.com. That's ShireSociety.com.
What's up next? Visit the Liberty Radio Network program guide to find out at shows.lrn.fm. That's shows.lrn.fm.
This is Angel Clark, and you're listening to The Call to Freedom on LRN.fm.
All right, welcome back here to the Call to Freedom here on LRN.FM. Broadcasting live from our Zencast studio here in beautiful Keene, New Hampshire. It is another beautiful day in the Shire. So I guess we're having some problems. We had Bad Slave wanted to come on the show. We're having some phone issues and some Discord issues. Discord's given us some serious feedback, unfortunately, and the telephone calls just aren't coming through, it would seem.
Yeah, he definitely has not called the landline. Or if he did, he's got his phone muted or something.
The landline is fired up. We got somebody screening the calls, and they're just, hello, 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 and then hanging up. So I just heard that sounded like somebody pushed a button.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I heard it. Anyway, so I guess
very unfortunate because he had a number of questions and I cut him off, said, why don't you say this for the air? So we don't really know what those questions were.
Yeah.
So sorry about that, bad slave. But essentially he was making the argument that, Muhammad was just a man. I assume where he was going with that is that he was fallible and made mistakes. And that,
he's
probably
corrected.
in his perception of Islam, Muslims treat him as
an
infallible.
An exemplar figure.
As infallible is probably... I'm not saying Muslims do. I said
do.
in his perception of...
Some do. Some of them, can't have honest conversations with some Muslims, just like you can't have honest conversations about faith with some Christians or some Jews. Like there's some people, they have their minds wrapped around a certain perception of certain things, and they just can't
I would say that, his
could be
understanding of it is that Muslims probably view Muhammad in exactly the same context as Christians view Christ.
Oh, it's like a God among men.
Right.
Which isn't true.
That's
Muslims
probably where he was going with that.
Yeah, Muhammad made it very, very clear, A, don't worship me. Love me for the sake of Allah. Love me because I was chosen by God to bring this to you. And I did. And love me because I've prayed for you my whole life. There are stories about the Prophet Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam standing in prayer from like 11 o'clock at night until the sun rose, crying. And when his wife asked him what he was crying about, he was crying for what many think is our generation in prayer. 1,400 years ago, saying, the praying for the tribulation of the last generation. I mean, you have to admit, for someone to be praying for people that would exist 1,000 years, 1,500 years after you die, is a labor, and literally doing it until you have edema, your feet are swelling and purple. I mean, that's a feeling of that you feel today. Muslims today feel a gratitude for that.
I'm sure.
But Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, he's corrected by God in the Quran. He's made a decision, said, I think this is good. And one of the scholars that I was actually listening to, a lecture I was listening to about 2 days ago, said, what the Prophet ﷺ had chosen to do, it wasn't a bad thing that he had chosen to do. It just wasn't the right thing for that situation. And there's another story about they were going to build a well. They were going to rebuild the well of Zamzam, which is still there today. And he admitted, I'm not a well builder. So
he said, I don't know.
I don't know. Who builds wells? Oh, you do? Then you're in charge. I mean, what do you want? What do you want? I don't know what I'm doing here. We need to build a well. I need to put somebody in charge of building the well. And they got mad at him too. They were like, well, why didn't you put this guy from this tribe who's in this very high position? And he's like, well, what does he do? Oh, well, he does these things. Does he build wells? Well, no, but he has all this honor in his family, and he's this, and so is his father. And did you know? And he's like, well, why do I need him to build a well based on who his father is? I don't, having an illustrious family lineage doesn't give you technical abilities, right? But there were instances where there were mistakes. The Prophet ﷺ had the ability to have errors in judgment, to say, I think we should do it this way, and then later, literally in Quran, be corrected. Have his correction in the revelation itself. And there's more than one place where that happens, where the Prophet Muhammad did one thing, and Allah said, I understand that you did that, and it's not that that's bad, but this would have been the better solution. Does that make sense?
It does.
Okay.
I mean, what the Quran argues is that, God is supreme. So...
and infallible.
The one that doesn't make mistakes.
Exactly.
So, I mean,
exactly. And we don't deify Muhammad. Well, most of us don't. There are some people from the Musaffirun.
Some Buddhists deify the original Buddha, whose name escapes me at the moment, they're entirely wrong for that. But that's not going to stop. That's not going to stop the Christians out there going, Buddhists worship Buddha.
Yeah, Prince Siddhartha. Even though Buddhism is like a-religious as far as like a deity is concerned.
I consider myself largely Buddhist and an atheist.
Funny enough, there
are Buddhist Christians.
There's heavy Buddhist influence in Islam. Most people don't realize it.
Interesting.
That there was a whole era during right around Al-Ghazali's time when you see a lot of these particularly tolerant, so to speak, discussions in religion are from these scholars. They come from India. They come from modern day Pakistan. They come from Khorasan. They come from all these these places, and these places historically were Buddhist. The Barmekid period, the Barmekid family were a very well-known priestly family in the Buddhist tradition in modern day Afghanistan, when Afghanistan was still a Buddhist country. So
I did not know Afghanistan was ever Buddhist.
Yeah. Well, it was always
very fascinating.
Originally, it's like that whole area was all under. It was like single leadership type thing, single empire. India, Pakistan, all of that. That whole the Indian subcontinent and Pakistan and Afghanistan, Bangladesh, all of that was all together at one point. All of it under Buddhism, long time ago. So anyway, when we get back, we finally got Bad Slave on with us, and we finally got some sound as well. So stick around.
So the protection of life, liberty, and property is what the Free State Project is all about. But it's an effort to move 20,000 people who understand.
It's about demonstrating to the entire country
that, we can have a free market, a truly free market.
Making it just a freer, great place to live.
It's the world's largest voluntarist libertarian community, and it's only getting bigger.
That's amazing, to be able to move to a place where other people passionately believe in being free and independent.
What the Free State Project is managing to do, though, is to put their money where their mouth is. Physically getting up across the country and saying, let's go someplace and let's demonstrate the power of these ideas. There's a lot of kind of philosophy that surrounds liberty. There's a lot of thinking about it and talking about it. But here in New Hampshire, people are doing it.
101 Reasons Liberty Lives in New Hampshire, a documentary by Free State Project Early Movers. Watch it free at 101reasonsfilm.com. 101reasonsfilm.com.
Radio is the most personal of mediums. I exist right now in your head. If you listen to Free Talk Live regularly, you know me. Free Talk Live is on more than 160 radio stations around the U.S. and has been downloaded on every continent around the world. Hundreds of thousands of listeners with ad packages from $600 a month to $6,000 a month. Imagine what we can do for your business, project, website, or idea. Email me, mark@freetalklive.com.
If you're looking for work, it's a process of elimination, and you're trying not to be eliminated. So here's a tip for making the cut, and this might seem subtle, but to the person interviewing you, it's not. There is a world of difference between applicants who convey, "I need a job," and those who simply ooze, "I want to work," especially in these lean times when many you're competing with will seem desperate in "I'll take anything" mode. If you convey specific interest in this job at this company, you will be conspicuous. Thus, the value of going to school on the company you're applying to before the interview. With money and attention so tight now, effective communication skills have never been more important. For more tips for job seekers and everyone else, hit survivalspeech.com. I'm Holland Cook.
Some of you asked, and now we've delivered. LRN.FM's live Keene, New Hampshire studio shows are now streamed in HD on Twitch. Visit our channel at twitch.lrn.fm and give it a follow. If you have Amazon Prime, you get one free subscription on Twitch. If you use it on our channel, Twitch will give LRN.FM a monthly piece of your Prime subscription cost. So please watch, follow, share, and subscribe to twitch.lrn.fm. That's twitch.lrn.fm.
Catch the Call to Freedom at its new time, weekdays from 4 to 7 p.m. The Call to Freedom is the only live drive-home call-in show in the U.S. with a segment devoted to cryptocurrencies. Crypto Hour, brought to you by Helium.com, live from Vertcoin Studios in New Hampshire. Learn about what makes cryptocurrencies so great and why you should care about them. Updates on new coins and ICOs, and warnings of scams. Plus, hear from traders, whales, developers, and big names in the crypto world. You can also win crypto coins or tokens every episode. Just listen for the faucet sound and be the 5th caller to get free Dash, Litecoin, Vertcoin, Verge, or other cryptocurrencies. The Call to Freedom with Will and Aria, featuring Crypto Hour. Broadcast internationally through our BitPlus network satellite. Weekdays from 4 to 7 p.m. on LRN FM.
If you enjoy LRN.FM, please contribute to your favorite shows via their websites and become an amplifier at amp.lrn.fm. That's amp.lrn.fm.
You're listening to The Call to Freedom on LRN.FM.
تستمتعون إلى برنامج نداء للحرية مباشرة على LRN.FM.
All right, welcome back to the Call to Freedom here on LRN.FM. We are broadcasting live from the Zencash studio, and we finally have Bad Slave back with us. Give me 1 second. I've got to, stop talking in order to reach over there and unmute the mic. But Will isn't actually in here anyway, so he wouldn't be here to address Bad Slave's questions anyway. Give me 1 second. So Will is back now, so we're going to unmute Bad Slave and hear what he has to say. We've been back a couple of seconds. There's no need playing music.
Okay. Anyway, so what's up, Bad Slave? How you doing?
I'm still good. I just tried the Discord and that just completely screwed up on me somehow.
Technology, man.
It might be a combination of having Discord and Skype running at the same time. I don't know, because I've got Skype as my phone call, right?
Okay. So
and Skype's been getting very bad with Microsoft's control lately, and it's I'm worried I'm going to have to abandon it. Although I've still got money invested in the rest of the year's service.
Well, let's get into the actual questions and comments that you had for Will, because we had to just kind of make it up as we went along.
Yeah. Well, I was couching it in terms of a Christian reality, which I love the Christian philosophy. I love the love and be loved arrangement, and the Christian NAP principle. Would
it blow your mind if I said all of that was true of Islam as well?
Yeah, the Quran actually has a line in it.
The golden rule.
That is, and that golden rule is also the way Islam puts it is no man truly believes until he loves for his brother what he loves for himself. And Ibn Abbas, Ibn Masud, Ibn Taymiyyah, even like Ibn Taymiyyah, who is a favorite of extremists, says that means your brother in humanity, because we are all sons of Adam, and that doesn't mean a fellow Muslim. It doesn't say mu'min. If it said mu'min, fellow believer, then that would make sense. But see, that kind of thing is expected between Muslims, and the reason why the Prophet ﷺ had to state it outright was to remind people that this means everybody. Like, you don't just treat each other this way; you treat everyone this way. There's a title that the Prophet has, and it's Rahmatul Alameen, which means a mercy to all of mankind. He came as a mercy, to show mercy and to teach mercy to mankind.
Okay, so I hear what you're saying,
but ISIS, right? No, I'm not saying that as a criticism. I'm just trying to understand where you're coming from.
No, what comes to mind for me is the difference between Judea and Christianity, where Judea, makes a claim of, that Jews are, God's chosen people, and I completely reject that. Okay, I just, nobody's going to get the special treatment. That's privilege. That's exactly what doesn't work in the world.
Well, the Christian theology
understand?
adamantly disagrees with you.
What's that?
The Christian theology adamantly disagrees with you, and I reject, Christianity as a valid, belief. I guess I would say.
No. I'm comparing
the divergence between
Judaism,
the divergence between
Christianity.
Yeah, I know. So am I. The divergence between Christianity and Judaism is not that the Jews are not the chosen people. It's, as Paul said, the word Christian didn't exist back then, and if you were a believer of Christ, you were a Jew, and you became one of the chosen people. That's where Christianity and Judaism diverge.
Yeah, Old Covenant versus New Covenant.
But the idea that the Jews are the chosen people is absolutely included as a core belief in Christianity. The difference is that...
So you're saying that...
in converting to Christianity, one becomes part of those chosen people. That's not what I'm saying. That's what Paul said. I say he's a lunatic.
Well, I don't
Paul
like
is in the
Paul,
guy who
to
wrote
be
the
honest with
epistles
you.
and the letters that make up
Paul,
2/3 of the Bible.
I
New
think
Testament.
I consider Paul, or the former Saul, to have been, not a nice man, and you've got to start from a nice place, period. For everyone, the idea that there's going to be this wrathful arrangement of people who maybe just question things. See, this is my point: is that I question stuff. All right.
Well, yeah, that's the point. That's what you're supposed to do.
Yeah, we've talked about that here on the air several times. Islam rejects the idea that you should simply believe something because you were told it.
Yeah, the Quran specifically states that
you should apply logic and reason.
Those who refuse to use logic are seen as cursed in the eyes of God, because God gave man a gift. The word that Arabs use for person, for human, translates to the speaking animal.
I thought it was thinking animal.
The thinking animal, that's it. The thinking animal. And that's what sets us apart, is we have reason and intellect. And that's a gift that God gave us. It's a blessing to be that. Like, again, today at work, there was, it says, it's a blessing to be a rock. Just to be a created thing in God's created universe is a blessing. But it's more of a blessing to be a tree, because you're a living created thing. But then it would be more of a blessing to be a bird or a lion.
Well, I don't know that the rock isn't living in the same sense, in a different sense that the tree is.
It is living. It is considered a living thing. All things, according to Islam,
that's what I would
think. Creation
that's what I would
worships.
say, because I don't think there's such a thing as a distinction between life and non-life. I think that's something we superimpose onto it because we have tiny minds.
Yeah, right? But just by being a tree is in a state of ibadah. It's in a state of worship, because God made it as a tree, and it's a tree.
Yeah.
Right?
My belief system. Are you guys there?
Yeah, we're here.
My belief system is a kind of a looser spiritual arrangement,
like pantheism,
of kind
or deism?
Of all of humanity, of all of the animals and the trees, the Gaia, let's call it, right, of getting along with the whole of the world, and there's goodness in all of it. And I don't believe.
Would you say there's goodness in the tornado?
Necessarily.
Mm-hmm.
written down, to the Bible or the Quran. Go ahead.
Would you say there's goodness in the tornado and in the earthquake?
I would.
I want to hear his answer.
I would say that it is part of the challenge of being on the globe. That we all are.
So would you agree that there's also evil in everything?
We're learning more and more about how to deal with tornadoes, so that less people can die.
Well,
that's what's there for us.
Okay, but you missed the part because tornadoes aren't really necessary. So those people who died didn't really have to die so that we could gain this knowledge at a future date.
All right, well, we'll get back to that point when we get back in just a moment. So stick around. We're gonna have more of this conversation going on when we get back after the break. Don't go anywhere.
Yeah. All right.
This Your Family Today tip is brought to you by Juicy Juice, 100% juice, providing a full serving of fruit in every 4 ounces. Visit us at juicyjuice.com. When it comes to nutrition, kids need both fruits and vegetables every day to stay healthy and grow. For the ideal mix, your kid should have at least 1.5 cups of any veggie or 100% veggie juice, and 1 cup of any fruit or 100% fruit juice a day. For more tips like these, visit us at parenthood.com/yourfamilytoday.
Is spreading the message of liberty, cryptocurrency, and peace around the globe worth $2 per month to you? As you may already know, in addition to our internet feed, LRN.FM broadcasts on free-to-air satellite across North and Central America, as well as Sub-Saharan Africa. And we've been available on satellite for free 24/7 since 2010. The LRN.FM free-to-air satellite signal is reaching some of the most oppressive regimes in the world, and there's no doubt our ideas are making an impact. You can learn more about the channel's impact by watching the 3-minute video at fund.lrn.fm. If you'd like to help free minds globally with our ideas of liberty, cryptocurrency, and peace, you can donate as little as $2 per month via fund.lrn.fm. You can help us continue and expand our satellite broadcast to multiple continents. Visit fund.lrn.fm today, and thank you for your help. Don't forget to share the link on social media. That's fund.lrn.fm.
Did you know you can listen to LRN.FM via our free-to-air satellite channels? We have channels over nearly all of North America and much of Africa. All you need is an affordable receiver and a dish as small as 30 inches. There are no monthly fees. Learn more at sat.lrn.fm. Plus, if you are a broadcaster or want to be one, this is a good delivery method for our content. See our coverage maps and get details at sat.lrn.fm. That's sat.lrn.fm. sat.lrn.fm.
What do you shop for that you could otherwise buy at Amazon? Pretty much everything, right? Amazon has competitive pricing and they deliver, and that's a big plus. If you could plan ahead in your shopping, would you be interested in saving up to 33%? There's a catch. You have to do your shopping in Bitcoin. But imagine those savings. It's like a huge raise. All you have to do is go to saveitpurse.com. We've saved thousands, and you can too. Plan ahead and save. SaveItPurse.com.
Here's a chance to do a little activism while you're cruising Facebook, Twitter, or Google+. Between the LOL cats, the recipes, the hot girls, and the inspirational sunrise memes, Free Talk Live's posts pass by your newsfeed. Like them, comment. It gives us more exposure. If you don't see our posts, click like at facebook.freetalklive.com and then hover over it to click Get Notifications. It's an easy way to spread the ideas of liberty a bit further. I know you're busy, but you can spare that 1/10 of a calorie it takes to click on something. Facebook.freetalklive.com.
Hi, I'm Derek J. To me, an activist's calling is to actively work to advance a cause. The cause for which I work is personal freedom. I believe my life is best when I engage in voluntary interactions and self-government. I reject the idea that anyone else has a higher claim to my life or my body than I do. I see people who call themselves the government as a threat to my personal freedom. I realize you may feel differently, but my relationship with the people who call themselves the government is completely involuntary. If Starbucks used some of its money to drop bombs, I wouldn't shop there. So why would I support the American empire? The empire does not require my consent.
Derek J's Victimless Crime Spree. Watch it for free and order the Director's Cut DVD at victimlesscrimespree.com. That's victimlesscrimespree.com.
Join the LRN.FM Discord for live chat 24/7 at discord.lrn.fm. That's discord.lrn.fm.
You are listening to the Call to Freedom on LRN.FM. आप सुन रहे हैं स्वतंत्रता की पुकार सिर्फ और सिर्फ LRN.FM पे।
مولاي صل وسلم دائما أبدا على حبيبك خير الخلق كلهم. مولاي صل وسلم دائما أبدا على حبيبك خير الخلق كلهم. محمد سيد الكونين والثقلين. محمد سيد الكونين والثقلين.
All right, welcome back here to the final segment of our Cult Freedom Wednesday afternoon broadcast today. We changed things around a little bit. We had some technical issues with the first segments of the show of the last hour here, trying to get a guest on who had some questions. We've done a lot of effort changing the focus of the show, trying to move away from so much political discussion, moving on to more philosophical discussion. Speaking of which, we've got a guest tomorrow night, right, Arya?
We do.
And tell us about it.
At 6 o'clock p.m. The author of an upcoming textbook, it seems, The Philosophy of Finitude, which is an evaluation of Nietzsche, Latinus, and another philosopher whose name I've again forgotten.
I hope you can remember it tomorrow.
I'm going to have to. Well, I'm just going to have
Write
it
it
pulled up
down,
tomorrow. Yeah. And his name is Dr. Raphael Winkler from the University of Johannesburg in South Africa.
Which is very cool because the Tafsir, the scholar of Tafsir that I studied with, Mink, is in Johannesburg, South Africa. No, he's in Cape Town, actually. He's in Cape Town, South Africa.
Very cool.
Yeah. So we've got on the line with us, we've got Bad Slave, and he's had some questions regarding the fact that, well, like many people in the Liberty community, I'm kind of the only Muslim that most of them know. So I get lots of questions, and it's a good thing that I spend a lot of time studying so that I can actually answer those questions or say that I don't know. So go ahead, Bad Slave.
I don't know if you remember, but my first question to you about it, was on Facebook in a comment when you had done your what did you call that? There was a name for Douala or something.
No, there's a youth symposium on. It was called Reigniting the Love of the Prophet, and I was asked to come and asked to give a presentation on how love of the Prophet is necessary for effective dawah, and dawah is.
Dawah. That was the word.
The word it's like witnessing in Christianity, only for Muslims, it's a lot less heavy-handed. Like the whole idea of going around and knocking on people's doors to harass them about religion is an anathema to Islam. That kind of thing is not seen as calling to the religion with wisdom. What most people, and one of the things that I stressed and why I said...
Through good deeds, not through good words.
Exactly. It's by being a good example. And one of the examples that I gave is that like Indonesia and Malaysia have more Muslims than Arab lands do. Like Saudi Arabia doesn't have as many Muslims as Malaysia has. And there's a higher percentage of the population in those countries that's Muslim as well. Whereas like in the Arab lands, you have like 20% Christian and Jewish populations. In Malaysia, it's almost nothing but Muslim. It's like 98% Muslim, 2% Buddhist. It's like, that's it. And those people converted through the good character of the Yemeni traders. That they would come there, they were honest, they were upright, they didn't drink, they didn't carouse, they had what would be considered by most theists a morally and ethically upright lifestyle, and they were known that they preferred a fair price to a high profit. that if they saw a price, regardless of if it giving them a high profit or not, they would prefer to give a fair price. And through that good character, people wanted to be like them. And they said, well, my ethics come from my religion. This is my religion. In India and in Afghanistan and Pakistan, well, they weren't called that at the time. It was the Sufis who spread Islam there. Because Sufism is, for all intents and purposes, a somewhat Buddhist view of Islam. It's a very internalist viewpoint of Islam. It's about purification of the self, purification of the heart, rejection of the material. Sufis were the original ascetics out in the desert. Like that's who they were. They would wear garments made of suf, which is wool, because it was uncomfortable. Even though asceticism is discouraged in Islam, they would still get married. Like the whole idea of like vows of chastity and stuff. To give a vow of chastity to a Muslim is to like spit in God's face, because man was created for very few things. One of them is to have children.
To make babies.
To make babies.
Make babies, right.
Your purpose on life is to worship God, be good to your neighbor, and continue the furthering of the species. And this whole idea of asceticism, and it was. Well,
I mean, but doesn't there get to be a point where a replacement number becomes a more better choice than tripling the output? I mean, I happen to know that you are actually blessed with quite a few children, so
right? Yeah.
I'm not complaining, and I'm happy. I'm very happy that you, as more so than Islam, are in fact libertarian. So, because I think that both factors may be as important, or in my mind, I actually think the liberty philosophy is more important.
You have to look at it like this.
But
I get paid.
Yeah,
I get paid by Muslims to go to mosques that are so big that you need 2 sermons on a Friday to accommodate all the people. You have to actually do the Friday service twice to accommodate all the people.
Okay.
I get paid to go teach the same kind of stuff I talk about with Islam here to crowds of Muslims like that. By a teacher.
Where are those crowds? Where are those crowds? I'm curious.
Well,
they're all over the United States.
Yeah, you can find.
It sounds like you have the same problem that I had. Which is that, the media presents one image of Islam, and they never talk about the ordinary people out there.
Well, yeah, they'll tell you about ISIS.
So tell me.
They'll tell you about ISIS, but they won't
and that's
say
it. The only
my
time they'll
teacher.
mention anything about Islam, they'll mention the word terrorism in the same sentence.
Well, they'll
it never
tell
fails.
you. They'll tell you that ISIS exists, but they won't tell you that most of my teachers are on ISIS's kill list. They want the biggest names in Islamic academia dead. Hamza Yusuf, Sheikh Abdullah bin Bayya, Habib Ali al-Jifri, Zaid Shakir, Yasser Qadi, Said Noman, Imam Nuh. All of these names are on ISIS's kill list. They want these men dead. Sheikh Abdul Hakim Murad. All of this, Ismail Mufti Ismail Mink, the one I was just talking about, they are all listed. We want these people dead. And most of it is because of the fact that they have gone out in public and spoken against the ideology of these people and said, look, like this is what Islam says,
yeah, but
and
more
this
to the
is what
point,
they do. And
the media won't cover what those men say about ISIS.
Well, no, because they're
won't.
covering the anti-Muslim protest that's going on outside the conference, not what the Islamic speakers are talking about inside.
Well, if they even do that, they don't want to draw any attention to the peaceful Muslim conference that's condemning the behavior of ISIS as being un-Islamic. Because if they do that, then people will know that, the most
They'll
common
cover the
refrain
counter-protest.
upon such, I don't think they will, because the
They
most
do, they
common
do.
refrain from such people who are brainwashed by the media is, well, where are all these moderate Muslims?
Yeah, well, because they're at the mosque. That's where they are.
Yeah,
They're at
and
the
that's why
mosque.
the media won't cover it, because that would be
Can
calling
we
attention to
broaden
the
the
fact that they
discussion a
exist.
little bit?
Unfortunately, we're not going to be able to tonight. We're
Hello?
coming up on the end of the show. We've got
there's the
about
music.
Yeah, that's right. It's the music. So we're going to be out of here. You're welcome to call back on another night, though, Bad Slave, and we can start. We can pick this conversation up again. We're more than happy to.
Alrighty.
So,
I mean,
but that's,
there's a whole lot more I have to say.
Well,
and it will be great.
All right.
Do you want me at the beginning or the middle or the end?
First
you
hour
got
or third
2 or 3
hour?
hours?
It's first or third. It's completely up
First
to
or
you.
third?
Not tomorrow
Okay,
for the
all
third,
right,
though.
all right.
All right. Well, you take care. Don't go anywhere, folks. Free Talk Live is coming up next.
Free Press Publications is an independent, alternative media and publishing company founded in June 2009 with the mission of ensuring a free press for the freedom movement and is committed to spreading the message of peace, freedom, love, and liberty. FPP also gives new authors an avenue for publishing freedom-oriented material. FPP brings you daily news and commentary on the website fpp.cc, as well as a daily 5-minute newscast, FPP Radio News, and weekly news, views, and commentary in the FPP Freedom Minute and Peace, Love, Liberty Radio at fppradio.com, and the monthly newspaper FPP News at news.fpp.cc. Find FPP online at fpp.cc. That's fpp.cc, as in Creative Commons.
Now that you've found the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM, you may want to help expose others to our great programs. To assist you in doing so, you'll find resources at promote.lrn.fm, including details on how to get a free bumper sticker, quarter-page flyers you can print out and distribute, banners for your website, as well as files that will allow you to make your own custom banners and graphics. Visit promote.lrn.fm and help bring new listeners to the Liberty Radio Network. That's promote.lrn.fm.
Looking for a great real estate investment? Consider New Hampshire, which is ground zero for the Liberty Movement. Your first call should be to Mark Worden from Porcupine Real Estate. He's more than just a real estate agent. He's your New Hampshire concierge. Where are the best places to live? Do you want farm, city, the burbs, or forest? Do you want a duplex or multifamily building so that renters pay your mortgage? There are homes in all price ranges in New Hampshire, and Mark can help with financing too. Invest in liberty and property. Mark Worden can help.
PorcupineRealEstate.com.
You're 6 minutes away from a live episode of Free Talk Live, brought to you by Freekeen.com. Listen live at freetalklive.com.
From Keene in the Shire, the Liberty Media capital of the world, this is Daryl W. Perry, host of FPP Radio News for Wednesday, August 22nd, 2018. Silver is trading at $14.87 per ounce. Gold is valued at $1,201 per ounce. Zencash is trading at $22, and the average price of Bitcoin is $6,674. Antiwar.com reports that Russia's foreign ministry reacted critically to the U.S. Treasury Department's new announcement of sanctions on Tuesday, saying the allegations of malicious cyber attacks were groundless. The cyber activities were allegedly centered on evading previous sanctions. The sanctions targeted Slovakia-based Lacno SRO and Russia's Vela Marine. The Russian company said it was baffled by the decision to target them, as the U.S. claims the diving equipment they provided to the Russian government was used to violate sanctions. Russian officials said the whole sanctions effort was done under false pretense and that the Russians would soon offer a retaliation